Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare. Jaya Vaishnav Thakur, Vaishnav Thakur, Vaishnav Thakur, Jaya Vaishnav Thakur. Jaya Vaishnav Thakur, Vaishnav Thakur, Vaishnav Thakur, Jaya Vaishnav Thakur. Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare
Vivo. So thank you so much for this very wonderful and sweet kirtan. So now we will continue from the morning with memories and glorifications of Pankajanghri Prabhu. So Anandavardhan Prabhu, the chairman of our Mayapur Brahmachari Council, who also served with Pankajanghri Prabhu together as a counselor for our Mayapur Brahmacharis, he will speak and glorify Pankajanghri Prabhu and hopefully share some sweet pastimes with us.
Hare Krishna. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vancha Kalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhubhaiva cha Patitanang Pavunebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. তো সুধী ভক্তবৃন্দ, আমরা আমাদের প্রাণপ্রিয় শিক্ষাগুরু তথা আমাদের পথ প্রদর্শক গাইড শ্রীপাদ পঙ্কজাঙ্ঘ্রি প্রভুর বিরহ মহোৎসবে উপস্থিত হয়ে তার কথা স্মরণ করে তার অহেতুকি কৃপা প্রার্থনা করছি।
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So, our dearmost God uncle, His Grace Pankajanghri Prabhu, on his Viraha Mahotsav, we are here to try to say a few words in his glorification, and at the same time, in this way, to beg for his blessings and mercy.
তো আমরা শুনেছিলাম যে শ্রীপাদ পঙ্কজাঙ্ঘ্রি প্রভু 1973 সাল থেকে নিরবচ্ছিন্নভাবে এই মায়াপুরে তিনি সেবা করে চলেছিলেন।
We have heard how Pankajanghri Prabhu, he had joined Mayapur in 1973, and since then he has been continuously serving in Mayapur.
ভগবান শ্রী শ্রী নৃসিংহদেবের একদম বিগ্রহ প্রতিষ্ঠা লগ্ন থেকেই তিনি বলা যেতে পারে তিনি প্রতিষ্ঠাতা, প্রধান পুরোহিত, যিনি জীবনের শুরু থেকে অন্তিম সময় পর্যন্ত ভগবান নৃসিংহদেবের সেবায় নিয়োজিত ছিলেন।
We can say right from the beginning of the arrival of Lord Nrsimhadev here in Mayapur, and starting from the installation of the Lord till his last breath, he was continuously engaged in the service of Lord Nrsimhadev.
তো শ্রীপাদ পঙ্কজাঙ্ঘ্রি প্রভু আমি যখন ইস্কনে জয়েন করি তখন থেকেই আমি লক্ষ্য করছি এবং ওনার কিছু সান্নিধ্য এবং উপদেশ নির্দেশ পালন করারও সৌভাগ্য আমার হয়েছিল।
So right from the beginning of my journey in Krishna consciousness, I have had the good fortune to have the wonderful guidance and instruction and association of Pankajanghri Prabhu to nourish my devotional life.
তো বিশেষ করে শ্রীপাদ জননিবাস প্রভু এবং পঙ্কজাঙ্ঘ্রি প্রভু এই দুই ভাই মায়াপুরের যে কত মহান সম্পদ, এবং যে কোনো অনুষ্ঠানে যে কোনো উদ্দেশ্যে যে কোনো সময় তাদের নিকট গিয়েছি, তারা কখনো আমাদেরকে বিফল মনোরথ করে ফেরায়নি।
So especially these twin brothers of Mayapur, they are so accessible. Whenever we had any doubt, any dilemma, any query, we could approach them, and without any hesitation they would help us, and they would clear our doubts, and they would in this way relieve us from our doubts.
তো যে কোনো অনুষ্ঠানে আমরা অনেক সন্ন্যাসী মহারাজ বা অনেক বড় বড় বরিষ্ঠ ভক্তদেরকে না পেলেও সবসময় আমাদের এই শ্রদ্ধেয় জননিবাস প্রভু এবং পঙ্কজাঙ্ঘ্রি প্রভুকে প্রত্যেকটা অনুষ্ঠানে আমরা পেয়েছি, এবং তারা আমাদের এই অনুষ্ঠান, আমাদের এই কার্যক্রম প্রচার এর জন্যে যেরকম নৃসিংহদেবের কাছে আমাদের জন্য প্রার্থনা করেছেন এবং রাধা মাধবের কৃপাশীর্বাদ বর্ষণ করেছেন, এটা সত্যিই অত্যন্ত সৌভাগ্যের।
So in every one of our programs, whenever we did not find any of the big sannyasis or the special speakers or anything like that, but we always had the wonderful presence of the two brothers, Jananivas Prabhu and Pankajanghri Prabhu, and they would always come, they would encourage us, and not only that, but they would also offer special puja to the Lord for the success of our programs.
এমনকি প্রত্যেকটা অনুষ্ঠানে তারা এরকম অত্যন্ত উৎসাহের সঙ্গে উদ্দণ্ড নৃত্য করে সমস্ত ভক্তদেরকে অনুপ্রাণিত করতেন, এবং তারা অত্যন্ত প্রাণচঞ্চল হয়ে ভগবানের কীর্তনে আনন্দমুখর থাকতেন, যে সত্যি এই দুর্লভ সৌভাগ্য থেকে আমরা বঞ্চিত হলাম।
At every program they would dance ecstatically and they would be full of life, and we are completely bereft of this wonderful association, this wonderful incidents that occurred in Mayapur. We will be bereft of all of these wonderful association.
তো প্রচারে বাইরে যাওয়া ছাড়া যতদিন ধরে আমি মায়াপুরে অবস্থান করি, প্রত্যেক দিন কোনো এক সময় পঙ্কজাঙ্গির প্রভুর সঙ্গে আমার সাক্ষাৎ হতোই, এবং তিনি আমাকে দেখলেই দুই হাত তুলে, অনেক সময় এই করোনা পরিস্থিতির পূর্বের সময় পর্যন্ত একদম জড়িয়ে ধরতেন, আর এখনও পর্যন্ত দেখা হলেই তিনি সবসময় বলতেন আনন্দ, এরকম। আমার কানে এখনও যেন সেই ধ্বনিটা সবসময় প্রতিধ্বনিত হচ্ছে। আমি ভাবছি যে সরাসরি যেন আর এই শব্দ তাকে সাক্ষাৎ দর্শন করে আর শুনতে পাবো না।
So before this pandemic, every day whenever I would be in Mayapur, if I was not outside for preaching or anything, and when I was in Mayapur, every single day there at some point of the day we would both meet, and Pankajanghri would, before he would give me a hug, and after, during the pandemic he would see me and he would say Ananda. So I can hear this reverberate in my ears. Pankajanghri Prabhu
প্রতিদিন একদিনও এরকম ওনার শ্রীমুখ থেকে আমি এই শোনা থেকে কোনোদিন বঞ্চিত ছিলাম না।
This happened every single day. There was not a single day when I was deprived of hearing this transcendental sound.
তো সেই শ্রীপাদ পঙ্কজাঙ্গির প্রভুর মধ্যে বৈষ্ণবোচিত সমস্ত গুণাবলী যে সুস্পষ্ট রূপে বিদ্যমান, ইস্কনের যে কোনো ভক্ত তা নির্দ্বিধায় স্বীকার করবেন।
Pankajanghri Prabhu has all the Vaishnava qualities, and every devotee of ISKCON will unhesitatingly agree to my.
আমরা শাস্ত্রে যে বৈষ্ণবোচিত লক্ষণগুলো পড়ি, যেরকম কৃপালু, তিনি সত্যিই কৃপালু। যে কোনো পরিস্থিতিতে যে কোনো ভক্তের জন্য তিনি সবসময় যেন তার উদারভাবে তাকে কৃপা করতেন।
We hear in the scriptures that a devotee is merciful, and Pankajanghri Prabhu was merciful in the true sense of the term. Whenever any devotee was in need, he was there for him.
অকৃতদ্রোহ মানে যিনি তার শত্রু ছিল না, বা তিনি কখনো কারোর সঙ্গে শত্রুতা বা কারোর সঙ্গে বিরূপ ভাব করেছেন, এটা আমার কখনো জানা নেই, অন্তত আমরা দেখেছি। আর মায়াপুরে অধিকাংশ ভক্ত তাদের দুই ভাইয়ের প্রতি বিশেষভাবে অনুরক্ত।
He was Akrita Droha, which means that he had no enemies, and there was nobody who had any animosity towards them. So in Mayapur there you will not find, or anywhere you will not find anybody who was actually not their fans.
কোনো কারণবশত একবার কি কথা প্রসঙ্গে আমি একটু অন্যভাবে যেন গুরুকুল মহারাজ শ্রীমৎ ভক্তি বিদ্যাপূর্ণ স্বামী মহারাজ এর সঙ্গে সেই বহু বছর পূর্বে কি কথা বলেছিলাম, আর পঙ্কজাঙ্গির প্রভু সেটা শুনেছিলেন। পরে আমাকে ডেকে বলছেন যে তুমি একটা এরকম ভক্ত, তোমার মহারাজের কাছে এরকম কথা বলা উচিত হয়নি।
So many years back I had said something about Bhakti Vidyapurna Swami. Pankajanghri Prabhu called me over and he said, you are such a devotee, and it is not befitting that a devotee of your standard will say something like that about Maharaj.
বলছি যদিও তুমি সত্যি কথা বলেছ, কিন্তু তিনি হচ্ছেন একজন বিশেষভাবে শিক্ষাগুরু এবং বিশেষ পদমর্যাদা সম্পন্ন, তার কাছে ওই কথা উপস্থাপন করতে গেলে এইভাবে বিনীতভাবে গিয়ে বলতে হতো।
He said, even though you might be right, but because he is one of your Shiksha Gurus, and he is situated on a different position, therefore you should have presented this in a different manner on a different forum.
যেরকমভাবে আমরা শুনেছিলাম না, সত্যং ব্রুয়াত প্রিয়ং ব্রুয়াত, মানে অর্থাৎ সত্য কথাও বলতে হবে, কিন্তু আমরা নিজের অধিকার বিবেচনা করে এবং কার সম্মুখে বলছি, বিশেষভাবে এটা নিঃসন্দেহে এই পঙ্কজাঙ্গির প্রভুর কাছে বিশেষভাবে শিক্ষণীয়।
So there is a saying that if you should speak the truth, but at the same time, you should speak the truth in a palatable way. So therefore, in order to know what to say when, one would certainly require to be guided by a personality like Pankajanghri Prabhu.
তা আমি আবার একটা প্রভুপাদের সঙ্গে ওনার লীলা প্রসঙ্গে শুনেছিলাম। একবার ছিল প্রভুপাদ একটা গৃহের মধ্যে তার কয়েকজন শিষ্যকে নিয়ে কিছু উপদেশ দিচ্ছিলেন।
I heard that once Srila Prabhupada was in a house and he was giving some instruction to some of his disciples.
এবং সেখানে এই জননিবাস প্রভু এবং পঙ্কজাঙ্গির প্রভু দুজনেই ছিলেন।
And there Jananivas Prabhu and Pankajanghri Prabhu were both present.
তো কি হয়েছে, পঙ্কজাঙ্গির প্রভু তিনি বসেছিলেন আর একটা পা দেখা যাচ্ছিল, তুনার একটা চরণ দেখা যাচ্ছিল, কাপড় উপরেও ছিল বলে।
Pankajanghri Prabhu was sitting there and somehow or other one of his foot was showing.
তো প্রভুপাদ তৎক্ষণাৎ বললেন, এই তোমার চরণ দেখা যাচ্ছে, গুরুদেবের সামনে এরকম চরণ উন্মোচন করে বসে থাকা ঠিক নয়।
So Srila Prabhupada immediately said that, oh, your feet are showing. You should not be sitting in front of the spiritual master while you are showing your feet.
তো তৎক্ষণাৎ পঙ্কজাঙ্গির প্রভু কি করেছেন না, তার ধুতি দিয়ে সেই নিজের পাকে আচ্ছাদিত করে নিয়েছেন।
So immediately Pankajanghri Prabhu covered his feet with his dhoti.
তখন পুনরায় প্রভুপাদ বলছেন, ও আমি লক্ষ্য করলাম তোমার পায়ে কিছু একটা আঘাত লেগেছে মনে হচ্ছে।
Then Srila Prabhupada said, oh, I noticed maybe you got hurt in your foot.
তখন পঙ্কজাঙ্গি প্রভু বললেন যে, হ্যাঁ প্রভুপাদ, আমার ওখানে একটা কেটে গেছে, এরকম আঘাত লেগেছে।
Then Pankajanghri Prabhu said, yes Prabhupada, I got hurt, I got a cut on my foot.
বলছে তাহলে তুমি ওই অংশটা খুলে রাখতে পারো যাতে তোমার যন্ত্রণা না হয়।
Then Srila Prabhupada said, in that case you can keep that portion of your foot open so that you are not in pain.
তো একটা নিয়ম বা শিষ্টাচার আছে, কিন্তু কিছু ব্যতিক্রমী ঘটনার রয়েছে।
So there is the rule and there are exceptions as well.
আর উচ্চতর আদর্শের জন্য নিম্নতর নিয়ম ভঙ্গ করা যায়, এটা আচার্যদের একটা বিশেষ ক্ষেত্রে বিধান রয়েছে, সেটারও দৃষ্টান্ত আমরা পঙ্কজাঙ্গি প্রভুর জীবনে পাই।
And for a higher goal, one can forsake the inferior rules, and these things we find in the life of Pankajanghri Prabhu.
অনেক সময় ভক্তরা বিভিন্ন নিমন্ত্রণ বা বিভিন্ন বিশেষ কিছু কার্যক্রমে যেতে দ্বিধাবোধ করেন।
Many times devotees, they hesitate to go for different invitations to different people's homes.
কিন্তু আমরা লক্ষ্য করেছি এই শ্রীপাদ জননিবাস প্রভু এবং পঙ্কজাঙ্গির প্রভু তারা এতই কৃপালু যে তারা যত ব্যস্ততা, যত সেবায় নিয়োজিত থাকুন না কেন, তার মধ্যেও সেই ভক্তদেরকে কৃপা করার জন্য তারা একদম হাসি মুখে সেখানে সম্মতি দিয়ে দিতেন।
But we have seen that Jananivas Prabhu and Pankajanghri Prabhu, despite their busy schedule, they would always find time to go to the devotees' homes on invitations.
তো এইভাবে আমরা বৈষ্ণবোচিত যে সমস্ত গুণাবলী শাস্ত্রে দেখতে পাই, কৃপালু, অকৃতদহ, সত্য, সারসম, বদান্য, মৃদু, সূচি, অকিঞ্চন, এই যে সমস্ত গুণাবলীগুলো রয়েছে, এগুলো যদি আমরা পর্যায়ক্রমে চিন্তা করার চেষ্টা করি, সেটা পূর্ণরূপে এই শ্রীপাদ পঙ্কজাঙ্ঘ্রি প্রভুর মধ্যে পরিলক্ষিত হয়।
So if we study the 26 qualities of devotees, we will find that all those wonderful qualities are fully manifest in the personality of Pankajanghri Prabhu.
তো সেই জন্য এই শ্রীপাদ পঙ্কজাঙ্ঘ্রি প্রভু, যিনি সেই লন্ডনের মতো ব্রিটেনের সেখানের বিলাসবহুল জীবন ত্যাগ করে সারা জীবন নিরবচ্ছিন্নভাবে এই রাধা মাধব নৃসিংহদেবের সেবায় যে জীবনকে উৎসর্গ করেছেন এবং একনিষ্ঠভাবে নিরবচ্ছিন্ন এই সেবায় নিয়োজিত চেয়েছেন, এইরকম নিষ্ঠা, ধৈর্য, গুরুদেবের আদেশের প্রতি আস্থা, এটা অত্যন্ত দুর্লভ।
So the way Pankajanghri Prabhu has dedicated his life to the service of his spiritual master, the determination, the dedication, the sincerity, and the patience with which he has carried out the services is actually extremely rare to find.
তো আজকের এই স্মরণ সভায় তার বিরহ বেদনা এবং তার থেকে বঞ্চিত হয়ে আমরা যদিও দুঃখ অনুভব করছি, কিন্তু নিঃসন্দেহে তিনি প্রভুপাদের কাছেই বিশেষভাবে নিত্য নৃসিংহদেব তথা ভগবান পরমেশ্বর ভগবানের সেবায় যে নিয়োজিত হয়েছেন সেই বিষয়ে আমাদের কোনো সন্দেহ নেই।
So on this auspicious day, even though we are feeling the separation of Pankajanghri Prabhu's physical absence, but still we are assured that he is with the Lord and engaged in the loving service of the Lord.
তাই আজকের এই বিরহ মহোৎসবে পুনরায় আমি শ্রীপাদ পঙ্কজাঙ্ঘ্রি প্রভুর নিকট অহেতুকী কৃপা প্রার্থনা করছি, যাতে করে আমরা তার আশীর্বাদে এই মায়াপুর ধামে সেবায় নিয়োজিত থাকতে পারি এবং ভক্তদের প্রতি যেন আমাদের যথোপযুক্ত ভক্ত এবং ভগবানের সেবায় সম্পূর্ণভাবে নিজের জীবনকে উৎসর্গ করতে পারি।
So we pray to Pankajanghri Prabhu on this memorial day that we may be able to remain here in Mayapur under the guidance of Guru and Gauranga and be engaged in the service of the devotees.
হরে কৃষ্ণ।
Hare Krishna.
শ্রীপাদ পঙ্কজাঙ্ঘ্রি প্রভু কি জয়, শ্রীল প্রভুপাদ কি জয়, নিতাই গৌর প্রেমানন্দে, হরি হরি বল।
Hare Krishna. So next we have another one of Pankajanghri Prabhu's very dear friends, His Grace Shatadanya Prabhu.
I did.
One of those eternal residents of Mayapur. So we have Shatadanya Prabhu on the screen. Hare Krishna.
You can hear me, Rambi? I can speak?
Yes, Prabhu, yes.
Okay. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swanti Navani. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gurvani Pujani Visesha Sunyavari Satchidasa. Pankajanghri Prabhu Ki Jai. I can be heard, Rambi? Can you hear me? Okay, I'll just be quick. Everyone has told so many qualities of Pankajanghri. Of course, his steadfast devotional service is absolutely I should keep going. I hear what I said a minute ago. Yeah. Of course, Pankajanghri's devotional service I speak after because it seems to be delayed. His devotional service has been amazing, and yeah, okay. One quality which, of course, Subhekshana mentioned something about how Pankajanghri was always pulling people's leg. His good humor. It says in Shastra that a Vaishnav looks at the world and laughs. A Vaishnav looks at the would pull everyone's a leg, yeah. And Srila Prabhupada did not like devotees. He even had a servant in 1970. Prabhupada said he is always morose. So a Vaishnav is always in good humor. And that was Pankajanghri Prabhu, undeniably. He was always joking and in good humor. He was always making jokes and in good humor. Did you hear about Prabhupada? Prabhupada did not like and in fact just and a couple days before his departure he told Brajval a couple days morose. He did not like morose. A couple days before Pankajanghri's departure, he told Brajvalas Prabhu that there's no one around he can cut any jokes with. Hello? He told Brajvalas Prabhu what's happening to this.
Please go on, Prabhu, we can hear you.
Okay. A couple of days before his departure, he told Brajvalas Prabhu that there's no one around he can cut jokes with. I was even thinking I should go and resume our old relationship of jokes and humor. Anyway, I also want to say so, of course, death to us seems like a very, very big deal because we are all so attached to this material body. But actually, we are this consciousness. We are the consciousness or the soul. So that I said it already, but it seems to be a double thing here. That dying is not such a big.
Can't hear you, Prabhu.
But actually, okay. We are the consciousness, we are the soul. And only out of materialistic fearfulness and not depending on Krishna and Prabhupada, we think that death is a great, great transition. But actually for a devotee, it's simply a continuation of devotional service. So I just would end by saying that Pankajanghri was a real Vaishnav who always looked at the world and laughed and always ready to see the humorous side of everything. All glories to Pankajanghri Prabhu. Excuse me? Okay, thank you. Okay, no problem.
Thank you, Satadanya Prabhu. So next speaker will be Vasanta Ranjani Mataji. We'll request Mataji to come.
Okay.
And after Vasanta Ranjani Mataji, we'll have Krishna Kanta Prabhu. And after Krishna Kanta Prabhu, it will be Gorangi.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, I want to read my Guru Maharaj offering, memories of Pankajanghri Prabhu, His Grace Srila Rohini Sutta Prabhu, about His Grace Pankajanghri Prabhu. Vanchakalpatarupyascha kripa sindhubhyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavyo namo namaha. Dear respected devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. I'm very sad about the sudden departure of my dear good brother, His Grace Pankajanghri Prabhu. Of course, there is no doubt about it that he is in a safe position now, in the eternal pastimes of Gauranga Mahaprabhu and Lord Krishna in Goloka. For almost 50 years, he was without fail engaged in devotional service to the deities and the holy Dham Mayapur, together with his dear brother, His Grace Jananivas Prabhu. I saw him for the first time in Mayapur in 1978. I had the opportunity to visit the Dham for the first time. At that time, I didn't know many international devotees. Srila Prabhupada's Samadhi building was not started at that time. I went every day to the Samadhi tomb, where I saw the same pujari as in a temple doing seva there. And I saw him wherever I went. I was amazed at how much absorbed he was and busily engaged everywhere in devotional service. Only later on I found out that they are twin brothers. It took me years to understand who is who. Only many years later, I became more acquainted with Pankajanghri Prabhu. He stayed in a Zurich temple for many months and served in the Pujari department. Although his heart and service were in Mayapur, he had to leave the Dham every 5 years for this reason. For me, as a book distributor, it was interesting to see how enthusiastic he was in association with book distributors and how enthusiastically and elegantly he was dancing in the kirtan. Everyone loved him. He was a friend for everyone, extremely humble, though senior to all. Later on, whenever I met some devotees and the name Pankajanghri raised, they without exception had such a deep respect and love towards him, even those who were critical about many. Uninterruptedly, he was engaged in devotional service and serving the devotees and associating with them. In 2009, he again was in Switzerland and also visited many European countries. We had at that time our first Balaram appearance festival in a forest, and I used the opportunity to invite him to participate in it. He was very enthusiastic, as always, but this time it was especially sweet because he fully absorbed in the cowherds and Balaram mood, imitating the sounds of the Vrindavan cows, cuckoos, peacocks, making joyful cries of the cowherds. He enthused everyone present in the Gocharan Lila of Krishna Balaram, and the whole atmosphere filled with many sounds repeated by the devotees. On that day, we saw some cows on a meadow, just a few of us, and he called out the different names of Krishna's cows. Hey Hamsi, hey Ganga, Saraswati, hey Shyamala, Dhumala, Yamuna. And amazingly, the cows came near and started to move. It was funny because these cows never do like that. They rather keep distance from the people whom they don't know. It was an experience I will never forget. Whatever he did was so authentic, natural, pure, and innocent. I always will remember him in this funny mood and wish to have his association life after life in the spiritual world or in the material world. Wherever such a Vaishnava lives, that is Goloka or Mayapur Dham. His Grace Pankajanghri Prabhu ki jai. Vancha kalpatarupircha, kripa sindhu bevacha, patitanam pavanibhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna. And I have few more. My personal memories. And there was one slideshow which my Guru Maharaj sent. Maybe devotees can put on the screen. It's just a few photos from Switzerland. And I like very much Pankajanghri Prabhu classes because he was amazing. Amazingly, how for me it was very special how he understand the philosophy, and all my questions when he was answering them, it was completely satisfying for me. So I was completely satisfied with his classes and his answers for questions, and he had such a great love for his brother Jananivas Prabhu. Sometimes we were asking him, what is your relationship with Jananivas Prabhu and something like this, and he said, you just need to know who is the boss, and then everything okay in the family, something like this. And also it was amazing how he respect all devotees, practically same like a deities. You can see him on the altar, he was respecting and serving the deities, and at the same time he was coming out of the altar and same way he was treating devotees and respect them. It was very special to see. And also in the service he was very helpful. One time we were doing Yashoda Damodar service for Kartik, and we didn't have cupboard. We have so many jewelry, but we didn't have place where to put. And he saw that we're struggling with have space for jewelries. And next day we came for service, and we saw like one cupboard in a corner of that small room under Radha Madhava altar. And he arranged for the cupboard for us. And then next day also he arranged for handles, because there was no handles. Even without asking, I didn't know. After I knew, he arranged for that. And also one time we were doing a service in deity cake kitchen all day, and then he asked, maybe you want some prasadam? And we said yes. And he himself put prasadam. It was so beautifully how he put the plate like rice in the middle, and so nicely organized sabji around. It was, I never saw somebody like putting such a beautiful plate with prasadam. Also, when I went to Taiwan a few times, once in a year, I was going for book distribution. And then that time, sometime he was coming to Janaki and my daughter, and he was asking, how are you? How is you doing? So, because she was feeling like separation with me, and he understood that, and he was supporting her. And one time also I was complaining that I have some difficulty with one devotee and so much emotions. And he said, then you study Shastra more now, go for Bhakti Shastra or something, because philosophy dries emotions, so it will help you. So I went for Bhakti Shastra, and it really was helpful. And also one time, it was maybe my birthday or something many years ago, and I invited many devotees. It was in the Ram Prabhu house, and also Pankajanghri Prabhu was there, and another senior devotees. And we arranged for drama. It was a short drama about Ramanujacharya's disciples who were fighting for the cloth after the bathing. They went out on the bank, and the dress was mixed. And then Madhuri Kadambinisha was reading what they should do. It was like she was reading what they should do, and they were just playing. And Pankajanghri Prabhu was playing, and 3 more senior devotees. And then he was playing so funny, so nicely. Then everybody was doing, oh, give me my cloth, give me my dhoti. But he took some gamcha or something. Why you took my cloth? Where is my gamcha? And he was like so artistically playing. It was so funny, so nice. And also I'm very grateful to him, because he asked my daughter one time, we came, and still the time she didn't chant regularly her rounds, and I asked him, maybe can you ask her to chant few rounds? And he said, Janaki, you want to chant? And he started to speak to her very nicely, very sweet, and she said yes. Then he said, okay, 6 rounds, is it not too difficult for you? And she said, no. Then he said, okay, from this day, you have to promise that you will chant 6 rounds, okay? And she said, yes, okay. And it was such a nice atmosphere, and from that time she started to chant regularly. Yeah, and very recently I also came to him. It was their birthday, and we did some garlands and some presents we brought with my friend. And then I asked the Pankajanghri Prabhu, can you bless me that I can have your association, and after this life also? He said, I would be more than happy to associate with you in spiritual world, something like this. He was very, very kind. Anyway, it's many things, but thank you very much. This is from Switzerland. My Guru Maharaj and Pankajanghri Prabhu, they had a festival, and this is from there. Actually, my Guru Maharaj loves Pankajanghri Prabhu so much in Vrindavan. He stayed last 8 years, and he even arranged for a room, a separate room, and he got separate bed for Pankajanghri Prabhu, because then Pankajanghri Prabhu were coming to Vrindavan. A few times he stayed at Guru Maharaj's apartment, and he had the room there and the bed. So they have a very nice connection. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. His Grace Pankajanghri Prabhu ki.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Vasant Ranjani Mataji. Now we would like to request His Grace Krishna Kanta Prabhu.
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimad Bhakti Vikar Swamiti Namane Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Samiti Namane Ste Saraswati Devi Gauravana Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pachatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhupada Shri Advaita Kadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakti Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Pankajanghri Prabhu Ki Jai. Yeah, Pankajanghri Prabhu was clearly a very exalted soul. He served his whole life in Mayapur as a puchari, as a devotee, and he was clearly a big inspiration for many of us. Of course, we have seen him as a puchari on the altar. We have seen him giving classes, explaining Shastra. And also, as a brahmachari, he is a big inspiration for us brahmacharis. One time I asked him how you can stay so long brahmachari here, in that place where so much congregation is around and you have to engage in different discussions. And he said just tolerance. That's what he said. You have to tolerate, you have to learn to tolerate. And he was clearly, as we can see, and until the end, very strong, very tolerant, extremely tolerant, and so very dear to Krishna. It's a very great quality of a devotee. He was also very tolerant towards devotees who come to him and ask him for all kind of questions, like I did all the time in not the best situations, and he took the time and he never sent anybody away. He took the time to listen and try to find solutions all the time. It was very satisfying in the end. You always came in and had something on your heart, some doubt, and then always he tried to find a Shastric way how to see it from a different perspective. Always see it from a different light, he says. Don't be stuck on one material point of view. One time he told me that when he first time met devotees, he was very impressed because they could always have an answer for all the questions he had. And he had a lot of questions because he knew Bhagavad Gita, but from a different source. He didn't read Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita, and he was on spiritual journey already. So he said that he was very impressed that they were so steady in their philosophy. They never swayed around and tried to find some other way how to explain things. They always come back to their philosophy and very big respect to their spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada. And he said that he will read all their books and then he will defeat them all, he said. I will defeat them all. That was thinking. And in that way Krishna was tricking him, he said. He was telling that Krishna was tricking him into Krishna consciousness. He was very attracted, but he became more and more deep, immersed in the philosophy, what we could see. And I could see that all the time when I had a discussion with him. You could not win any argument. I could never any time win any argument. He's always on top of all point of views. I was very impressed also how he was treating devotees and how he has so much love with devotees. And that was, I think, the most thing what impressed me, because that is the essence when he understood that we belong to Krishna and all the devotees are a part of Krishna, and devotees are very dear to Krishna. Pankajanghri Prabhu ki jai.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Krishna Kanta Prabhu. Now I would like to request Gaurangi to please come over. I would like to request the devotees to please be a little short. We have 12 speakers so far and more coming.
Hare Krishna. So I came to Mayapur when I was 7 years old, and I remember first seeing Jananivas Prabhu and Pankajanghri Prabhu, and my mother told me, these twin brothers, they came from the spiritual world. You have to take as much association as you can. So I hope that I can speak on behalf of the youth of Mayapur how much of a deep impression Pankajanghri Prabhu and Jananivas Prabhu have left in all of our hearts. One thing I can say about Pankajanghri Prabhu is that he's my favorite dancer in the whole of ISKCON. And I don't know, I just think of Lord Chaitanya when I see Pankajanghri Prabhu dance. I even would tell my friends, we have to learn from the best dancer, watch his feet. We have to learn how to dance from Pankajanghri Prabhu. And I remember when I was small, I was chanting across the temple room, and he saw me chanting and he would give me a thumbs up of encouragement, like keep chanting. So I just wanted to share how like these pure devotees like Jananivas Prabhu and Pankajanghri Prabhu, like they might not know how much impact they have left in our hearts, but every smile, every thumbs up, or every Haribol means so much to all of us. Every time something small, even something tiny happened, we'd always tell our friends, today Jananivas Prabhu smiled at me, today Pankajanghri Prabhu waved at me. It's just because Mayapur, like, they nourished our bhakti because of their love and their care and their inspiration. I feel like many of the youth of Mayapur, we owe it to them that we're our spiritual lives. And I remember once I was walking home and Pankajanghri Prabhu was on his way to give Russian class, and he turned around and he saw me and he said, oh, Gaurangi, you're an intelligent girl. Can you help me? What should I talk about in class? So immediately my mind went blank and I thought, oh Krishna, he said that I'm intelligent, so I have to say something, but I didn't know what to say. So he said, oh, the class is about churning of the milk ocean. So the first thing that came to my mind, I said, oh, maybe you can speak about how we shouldn't be greedy. I didn't know what to say, but it was the first thing that came to my mind, and especially when such great devotees speak to you, I mean, I get really nervous and I don't know what to say and I become really like a fool. And when also in my childhood when we were small, I remember, as many people have said, that Jananivas Prabhu and Pankajanghri Prabhu never refused any invitation to anyone's homes. So they would even go to like birthday parties if they were invited. And I remember once we had like a flower fight, and it was the best time of my life. I remember we were getting flowers and you know, hitting each other, and they were saying, oh, now, you know, in the Mahabharata, this is Brahmastra, I'm going to get you. So we were playing like this for like so long, and it was like the most cherishable memory of my life with them. And also in Mayapur Academy, I'm very grateful that we had such a beautiful, the best moments of my life because of Jananivas Prabhu and Pankajanghri Prabhu. I remember Pankajanghri Prabhu, he tested me and he gave me so much encouragement. So now I hope that with everything that they taught us, that we can carry on the service, especially how they have shown us, and that could be how we can reciprocate. And on behalf of the youth, I wanted to say that, I mean, especially for me, that I love being in Mayapur Dham. I love trying to be a devotee of Krishna, an ISKCON devotee, and I owe all of this to Jananivas Prabhu and Pankajanghri Prabhu for their love and nourishment. That these impressions as a child, it's what carries you on forever. So I will always be grateful for that. And just wanted to say how Pankajanghri Prabhu is so dear to all of us that as soon as we heard that he was going to leave his body, this rumor went, we immediately, it was 10 o'clock at night, and I wrote to my friends, and then we immediately rushed to the Bhajan Kutir, and we started singing, and then thank you to the management, we were allowed to sing and chant outside his room. We were there for like 12 hours because that's how much like Pankajanghri Prabhu means to all of us. We were going every day for a week praying for a miracle, but I'm sure that, of course, Nrsingadev, this was Nrsingadev's miracle. So thank you very much, and Jananivas Prabhu, thank you for everything that you have done for us, and Pankajanghri Prabhu, you're the heart of Mayapur, and yeah, Mayapur is incomplete, but we will keep trying to do our service how you have taught us. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Gaurangi. That was nice, very wonderful. Now we would like to request one of our Sankirtan stalwarts, His Grace Kamalapati Prabhu, to kindly speak something.
Om Ajnanatimindasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurmitang Jnanatasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Charu Swaminiti Namane Snigdha Cheta Shrupaneta Bhagavayanchara Sapatam Prabhupada Gata Pranam Nami Bhakti Charu Padam Jai Guru Maharaj Ki Jai Guru Maharaj Pranam. Hare Krishna. আমি প্রভুদের সঙ্গ লাভ করার সুযোগ পেয়েছি 28 years, 28 বছর।
Hare Krishna, I have had the good fortune to have the association of the two Prabhus for 28 years.
এবং প্রভুরা আমাদেরকে সংকীর্তন ভক্তদেরকে এত ভালোবাসেন, উনি আমাদের সঙ্গে 3 বারের মতো বৃন্দাবন পরিক্রমায় গেছেন, ফুল পরিক্রমা, এবং 2 বার দ্বারকায় গেছেন, 1 বার পুরী পরিক্রমা করেছেন, আর গৌড়মণ্ডল আমাদের সঙ্গে প্রায় 2 বার বা 3 বার গেছেন, আর নেপালে গেছেন 1 বার, গঙ্গাসাগরে 1 বার, এলাহাবাদে। এইভাবে আমাদের সঙ্গে অনেকবার প্রভুরা পরিভ্রমণ করেছেন, আমাদের সঙ্গে আনন্দ দিয়েছেন, আমাদের সঙ্গ দিয়েছেন। বৃন্দাবন 3 বারের মতো।
Hare Krishna. So Prabhus have Prabhus, they love the Sankirtan devotees so much that they have gone for Vrindavan Parikrama
3 বারের মতো,
3 times, and Puri Parikrama twice, and Gormandal Parikrama 3 times. No?
হ্যাঁ, আর নবদ্বীপ মণ্ডল পরিক্রমা তো অনেক,
And Navadvip Mandal Parikrama practically every year.
নেপাল একবার,
And they have gone with us to Nepal once. They have gone to Dwarka,
গঙ্গা দ্বারকা দুয়া,
2 times to Dwarka,
গঙ্গাসাগর একবার।
and 1 time to Gangasagar.
তো এইভাবে বহু সংকীর্তন ভক্তরা খুব আনন্দ পেয়েছেন প্রভু সঙ্গ লাভ
So
করে।
many Sankirtan devotees, they were all in bliss.
আমি দু একটা জায়গার একটু হাসির কথা বলবো।
I will narrate to you some of the humorous pastimes at some of the places.
পঙ্কজারি প্রভু বিশেষ করে যে কোনো ভক্তরা যখন আমাদের সংকীর্তনে মানে কীর্তন করতেন, প্রভু প্রত্যেকটা ভক্তের চরণে স্পর্শ করে প্রণাম করতেন।
Pankajanghri Prabhu had the habit of touching the feet of those devotees who would do the kirtan.
আর সব ভক্তরা পঙ্কজারি প্রভুর সঙ্গে সঙ্গে জননিবাস প্রভুরও চরণ স্পর্শ করতেন।
And all the devotees then they would rush to touch the feet of Jananivas Prabhu as well, along with Pankajanghri Prabhu.
কিন্তু জননিবাস প্রভু ততটা নৃত্য করতেন না, পঙ্কজারি প্রভু যতটা নৃত্য করতেন।
But Jananivas Prabhu would not dance as much as Pankajanghri Prabhu would dance.
নন্দগাঁয়ে যখন আছি তখন আমরা পবন সরোবরের তীরে ছিলাম। ওখান থেকে যখন সকালে বাথরুমে গেছি তো সব জায়গায় কাঁটা। আর বৃন্দাবন পরিক্রমা যখন ফার্স্টবার গেছি, আমরা বৃন্দাবন পরিক্রমায় যখন প্রথমবারে গেছি, আমরাও রাস্তাঘাট জানি না, প্রভুরাও রাস্তাঘাট জানে না। তা সকালে উঠে যখন বাথরুমে যাই তখন প্রভুকে লাইট মারছি, প্রভু বলছে লাইট অফ, তবে তো আমি বসবো। হ্যাঁ, তখন আমি লাইট অফ করে দিয়েছি। প্রভুকে বললাম প্রভু ফিনিশ, বলছে ওকে এবার লাইট মারো। তারপরে কাঁটায় অনেক ভর্তি, তো তারপরে প্রভু তাড়াতাড়ি চলে এলো। তা
So in the Vrindavan Parikrama when we went, so early in the morning we would have to go for answering nature's call. So I was shining the torch for Prabhu so that he doesn't step on any thorns. Then when Prabhu found the right place, then Prabhu said, turn off the light. So then after he finished, then Prabhu said, okay, now you can turn on the light, so that he wouldn't have to step on the thorns to come out of the area. So these were all his humorous.
তারপরে যখন জনিয়াস প্রভুকে আমি নিয়ে গেছি, আমি তখন বুঝতে পেরে গেছি যে প্রভু আমাকে কি মানে বলতে চাইছেন। তখন আমি প্রভুকে এইভাবে বললাম যে প্রভু লাইট অফ নাও স্টার্টিং, বলে প্রভুকে নিয়ে চলে এলাম। প্রভু বলছে তুমি জানলে কি করে? আমি বললাম পঙ্কজারি প্রভু ফার্স্ট আমাকে জানিয়ে দিলেন এইভাবে।
So then when I took Jananivas Prabhu also to that area, to the toilet area, then I turned off the light right in the beginning. Then Jananivas Prabhu said, how did you know? He said, oh well, I already had my lesson with Pankajanghri Prabhu, so therefore I turned off the light when it was time.
এবং আমি কয়েক বছর ধরে দেখছি সেবা করতে করতে, জনিয়াস প্রভুকে যদি প্রথম কিছু খেতে দেবো বা কিছু বলবো, প্রভু প্রথমেই না বলবে। পঙ্কজারি প্রভুকে যদি বলি প্রথমেই যে প্রভু এটা খান বা এটা করুন, পঙ্কজারি প্রভু যদি নেয়, তখন যদি জনিয়াস প্রভুকে বলি যে প্রভু পঙ্কজারি প্রভু এটা খেয়েছেন, তখন প্রভু বলে তাহলে আমাকেও দাও।
So last few years I have noticed something, that is if I offered something to Jananivas Prabhu to eat, Jananivas Prabhu would be hesitant to take. But then if I would offer it to Pankajanghri Prabhu, and then Pankajanghri Prabhu accepted it, then I would come and tell Jananivas Prabhu that Jananivas Prabhu, actually I offered it to Pankajanghri Prabhu and he has accepted. Then he would say, okay, then give me something, I'll taste it.
এই কয়েকদিন আগে প্রভুরে যখন ছিলেন এই জানুয়ারি মাসের দিকে আমি
Just some time back when both Prabhus were present in the month of January,
আমি পঙ্কজারি প্রভুকে বললাম যে জনিয়াস প্রভুকে ফার্স্ট বললাম যে প্রভু একাদশী প্রসাদ ব্রহ্মচারী কিচেন, প্রভু বলছেন নো, অনলি লিটিল ফ্রুট। তা পঙ্কজারি প্রভুকে বললাম প্রভু আপনি যাবেন, বলছে হ্যাঁ। তখন আমি প্রভুকে গিয়ে বললাম প্রভু, পঙ্কজারি প্রভু এংরি কিচেন, তখন প্রভু বলছে তাহলে আমিও যাবো।
like there was an Ekadashi, so I came and told Prabhu that there is Ekadashi Prasadam in the Brahmachari kitchen, and Prabhu didn't say anything. Then I came to Pankajanghri Prabhu and I said, Prabhu, would you like to come and honor Prasadam at the Brahmachari? So he said yes. Then I came back to Jananivas Prabhu and said, Pankajanghri Prabhu is going to the kitchen, would you like to come? He said, okay, I'll come. If Pankajanghri is going, I'll go also.
এই ফেব্রুয়ারি মাসের এই বছরই প্রভুর খুব ঠান্ডা লেগেছিল। তা প্রভুকে বললাম যে প্রভু তাহলে আমি সরিষার তেল মালিশ করে দিই। প্রভু বললো চলো তাহলে ছাতের উপরে সিনিয়রে, তো ওখানে গেছি।
So this year in the month of February, Prabhu caught a cold. So I told Prabhu that you need a mustard oil massage. So then Prabhu said, okay, then let's go on the roof of this senior brahmachari.
তো প্রভু ওখানে গিয়েই একদম লম্বা করে শুয়ে পড়েছেন, একদম হাত এইভাবে দিয়ে।
So Prabhu went on the roof and he lied down completely flat.
আর আমি তেল মালিশ করছি, প্রভু ঘেমে যাচ্ছে।
So I was giving him the oil massage and Prabhu was sweating.
আমি বলছি প্রভু আমি মালিশ করে আনন্দ পাচ্ছি না, পুরো হাত পিছলে যাচ্ছে বারবার।
So I told Prabhu, Prabhu, I am not happy with massaging because my hands are slipping again and again.
প্রভু বলছে তুমি তেল লাগিয়ে দাও আমি শুয়ে থাকবো।
Huh?
তুমি শুধু তেলটা লাগিয়ে দাও আমি এর মধ্যে শুয়ে থাকবো।
Prabhu said, you simply smear the oil on me, I'll just lie down here with the oil.
তখন প্রায় দুপুর 12টা সাড়ে 12টা বাজে।
So it was about 12 or 12:30 noon.
এবং রোদ্দুরের খুব তেজ প্রচন্ড।
And the sun was quite hot.
তা পঙ্কজারি প্রভু মুখে একটা গামছা দিয়ে, চোখের কাছে একটা গামছা দিয়ে শুয়ে আছেন।
So Pankajanghri Prabhu, he put a gamsha on his face and he was lying.
আর আমি জনিয়াস প্রভুকে মেসেজ করি 12:30 থেকে।
And I massage Jananivas Prabhu from 12:30 onwards.
আমি দেখলাম প্রভু তো মেসেজ করা যাচ্ছে না, তাহলে জনিয়াস প্রভুকে খবর দিই, প্রভু মেসেজ করব।
So I thought, since I am not able to massage Pankajanghri Prabhu, let me inform Jananivas Prabhu and I'll massage Jananivas Prabhu.
জনিয়াস প্রভু আপনা থেকে উঠে গেছে ছাতের উপরে, দেখতে পায় না বলে আমাকে।
Jananivas Prabhu did not see me, so he came to the roof on his own.
তো গিয়ে পঙ্কজারি প্রভু এমন ভাবে শুয়ে আছে, প্রভু দেখে আশ্চর্য হয়ে গেছে, খালি চোখটা মানে চাপা দিয়ে একদম শুয়ে আছে।
So when Jananivas Prabhu saw Pankajanghri Prabhu lying like that with his eyes covered, he got a shock.
পুরা একদম কাপড়টা অনেকটা তুলেছে একদম পুরা, আর প্রভু অনেকক্ষণ ধরে দাঁড়িয়ে দেখছে। পঙ্কজারি প্রভু কোনো দম নিচ্ছে আর চুপ করে চোখ বন্ধ করে শুয়ে আছে।
And he had his garments raised a little bit, and Jananivas Prabhu was just, for some time he was simply gazing at Pankajanghri Prabhu. He was just lying there still, only breathing.
আমি দু একটা উপদেশ প্রভুর বলে আমি শেষ করে দেবো।
I will complete with a couple of instructions from Prabhu.
অষ্টকোশী পরিক্রমার সময় আমি প্রভুকে বলছি, প্রভু আমার সব কিছু ভালো লাগে কিন্তু জব করতে ভালো লাগে না। অষ্টকোশী পরিক্রমা,
During the Ashtakrosa Parikrama, I told Prabhu I like everything, but I don't like to chant.
তখন জনিয়াস প্রভু বললেন হরিনাম ভালো না লাগলেও তোমায় করতে হবে।
Then Jananivas Prabhu answered, even if you don't like chanting the holy name, you have to chant the holy names.
এই জগতে দুটি জিনিস আছে, ভগবানের
There are two things in this world.
ভগবানের সেবা নাহলে ইন্দ্রিয় সুখভোগ।
Either service to the Lord, devotional service, or sense enjoyment.
তুই কোনটা চাও?
Which one you want?
মহাপ্রভু বলেছেন হরিনাম করতে, তাই তোমার ভালো না লাগুক আর লাগুক তুমি হরিনাম করে যাও।
Lord Chaitanya said to chant the holy names, therefore whether you like it or you don't like it, carry on chanting.
তখন পঙ্কজারি প্রভু বললেন যে জগতে সকলে চায় আমি কিভাবে সুখী হব।
Then Pankajanghri Prabhu said, everyone in the world, they are simply thinking how I will be happy.
আর আমার কোনো সমস্যা থাকবে না।
And that I will not have any problems.
জীবন ধারণের উদ্দেশ্য হলো পরের সুখের জন্য।
And the purpose of life is for the happiness of others.
আমি শুনে খুব খুশি হলাম।
So I was very happy to hear that.
একজন গীতা ক্লাসে প্রশ্ন করছেন, প্রভু আমি এইবারে বিয়ে করে নেব, পরের জন্মে আর বিয়ে করব না।
Once somebody asked a question in the class, Prabhu, I will get married in this life and forever in my next other lives I will not be married. I will not marry.
কেন তুমি এবারে বিয়ে করতে চাইছো?
Why do you want to marry in this life?
আমি ইন্দ্রিয় সংযম করতে পারছি না।
Because I am not able to control my senses.
আমি পরের জন্মে সংযম করব।
In my next life I will control my senses.
বলে হাসতে হাসতে বলছে, তুমি যে জন্মে ভগবানের কাছে ফিরে যেতে চাও সেই জন্মে তোমাকে ইন্দ্রিয় সুখ ভোগ ত্যাগ করতেই হবে।
Prabhu said, in the life, in whichever lifetime you want to go back home, back to Godhead, in that lifetime you will have to control your senses.
তুমি কেন এই জন্মে করবে না?
Why won't you control your senses in this lifetime?
তুমি ভক্তি পথে চলে এসেছো,
You have come to the devotional path.
তুমি সদ্গুরুর আশ্রয় নিয়েছো,
You have taken shelter of Sadguru.
তোমার বয়স হয়ে গেছে,
You are old enough now.
তাহলে আর কয়েক বছর থাকলে তুমি ফিরে যাবে ভগবানের কাছে।
How long you will remain in this world? Then you can go return back home, back to Godhead.
তুমি কেন আবার অন্য জীবনের জন্য চেষ্টা করছো?
Why do you want to go for another lifetime?
তবে ভক্তটা প্রভুর চরণে প্রণাম করে বলছে, প্রভু আপনি কৃপা করুন, তাহলে আর আমি বিয়ে করব না।
Then that devotee, he fell on Prabhu's lotus feet and he said, Prabhu, you please bless me so that I don't have to get married.
তাই এইভাবে অনেক আছে। আর একটা কথা খুব ভালো, একবার প্রভু ক্লাস দিতে গিয়ে বলছেন যে নিত্যানন্দ প্রভু যখন মহাপ্রভুকে বললেন যে আমাকে দ্বিতীয়বার মারার জন্যে জগাই আমাকে বাধা দিয়েছে, সঙ্গে সঙ্গে মহাপ্রভু তাকে আলিঙ্গন করলেন।
Another class, Prabhu said that when Lord Nityananda told Lord Chaitanya that when Madhai was about to hit me the second time, at that time Jagai stopped him.
কেন জগাইকে মহাপ্রভু আলিঙ্গন করলে তুমি জানো?
And then immediately Lord Chaitanya embraced Jagai. Do you know why Lord Chaitanya embraced Jagai?
আমি বললাম প্রভু জানি না।
I said, no Prabhu, I don't know.
প্রভু বললেন জগাই শুধু বৈষ্ণব সেবা করেছে, সেই জন্য ওকে মহাপ্রভু কৃপা করলেন।
Because Jagai performed Vaishnava Seva, that is why Lord Chaitanya bestowed his mercy on him.
প্রভু বলছেন কোনো ভক্ত যখন শুদ্ধ ভক্তের সেবা করেন তখন ভগবান তার প্রতি প্রসন্ন হন, তাকে কৃপা করেন এবং গোলক বৃন্দাবনে ফিরে নিয়ে যায়।
When a devotee offers service to a pure devotee of the Lord, then the Supreme Lord is pleased with him and he makes arrangement that this devotee is transported back home, back to Godhead, to the spiritual world.
এবং ভগবত ধামে ফিরে যেতে গেলে একটা জীবন ইন্দ্রিয় তৃপ্তির বাসনা ত্যাগ করতেই হবে।
Therefore, in order to return back home, back to Godhead, one has to give up the desire for sense gratification.
একবার এক ভক্ত বলছেন, প্রভু আমরা বাইরে প্রচারে যাই, তাই ভগবানের ভক্তের কোনো সেবা করতে পারছি না, ভগবানের কোনো অনুষ্ঠান দেখতে পাচ্ছি না মন্দিরে।
Prabhu, we go out on preaching all the times, therefore we never get to see any of the programs, we can never get to serve the devotees.
সেই সময় পঙ্কজানি প্রভু বললেন, তোমরা সেবা করতে পারছো না মানে তোমরা বড় বড় বৈষ্ণবের সেবা করছো।
Then Pankajanghri Prabhu said, what do you mean you are not able to serve the devotees? You are serving the greatest Vaishnavas.
তোমরা শ্রীনিবাস আচার্যের সেবা করছো, জীব গোস্বামীর সেবা করছো, ভক্তিবিনোদ ঠাকুরের সেবা করছো, ভক্তি সিদ্ধান্ত সরস্বতীর সেবা করছো, প্রভুপাদের সেবা করছো, এমনকি তোমার গুরুদেবের সেবা করছো।
You are serving Srinivas Acharya, you are serving Bhaktivinoda Thakur, you are serving Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, you are serving Srila Prabhupada, and even you are serving your spiritual master.
প্রভু সবসময়ের জন্যে প্রত্যেকটা ভক্ত মানে যে কোনো সময় যে কোনো মুহূর্তে প্রভুদেরকে প্রশ্ন করেন, প্রভুরা সঙ্গে সঙ্গে উত্তর দেয়।
So Prabhus, they were always ready and they had the fantastic answers every time devotees had any question, any query.
আমি অনেক সময় একটু প্রভু গঙ্গা স্নান করে আসছেন, আর এক ভক্ত দাঁড়িয়ে অনেকক্ষণ ধরে কথা বলছেন। আমি তখন পেছন দিক দিয়ে প্রভুকে ইশারা করছি যে প্রভুর খিদে পেয়েছে, ছেড়ে দেন। তখন প্রভু এরকম পেছন দিকে তাকিয়ে বলছেন, এ কমল যা যা যা, বলে আমাকে একদম পুরা এ করে দিলেন।
So once one devotee, the Prabhus, they had come back from their Ganga Snan, Ganga bath, and one devotee happened to be on the way. He was talking to Prabhu, and he was talking for quite a long time. So then I came behind Prabhu, and I gestured to that devotee that Prabhu is hungry, that you should leave him so that he can come and take prasadam. So then Prabhu looked behind me, he saw me, and he said, hey Kamal, come on, get out, go away.
দুই প্রভুকে সারা বিশ্বের মানুষ ভালোবাসে কারণ না দুই প্রভু সারা বিশ্বের মানুষকে ভালোবাসেন।
The two Prabhus are loved by the people of the entire world is because the two Prabhus love the people of the entire world, everyone.
সেই জন্য দুই প্রভুর মধ্যে পঙ্কজাঙ্ঘ্রি প্রভু যখন অপকট হয়েছেন সারা বিশ্বের মানুষ দুঃখ পাচ্ছেন।
Therefore, at the disappearance of Pankajanghri Prabhu, the people of the whole world are suffering, are feeling the separation.
যদি করোনা ভাইরাস না হতো গঙ্গার পাড়ে আমরা কাউকে জায়গা দিতে পারতাম না।
If the coronavirus pandemic wasn't there, we would not be able to hold people on the bank of the Ganga.
কেন আমি নরসিংহ প্রভুকে জিজ্ঞাসা করলাম প্রভুর ভিডিও কতজন দেখেছেন?
I asked Nrsimha, how many people have watched Prabhu's video?
প্রভু বললেন 21 ঘন্টাতে 6.5 লক্ষ ফেসবুকে দেখেছেন।
Prabhu said that in 21 hours 650,000 people watched it just on Facebook.
আর ইউটিউবে দেখেছেন 1,53,000।
And on YouTube 153,000 people watched it.
আমি বললাম এটার একটাই কারণ প্রভু সবাইকে ভালোবাসেন, সারা বিশ্বের লোক প্রভুদেরকে ভালোবাসেন।
And I told him that this is because Prabhu was loved by the people of the whole world, and also Prabhu also loved every devotee in the whole world.
তাই আমি আজকে শ্রীপাদ পঙ্কজাঙ্ঘ্রি প্রভুর চরণ কমলে এবং শ্রীপাদ জগন্নাথ প্রভুর চরণ কমলে প্রণাম নিবেদন করে
So now I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of Sripad Jananivas Prabhu and Sripad Pankajanghri Prabhu today.
আমার কৃপা করুন যাতে আমি প্রভুর সেবা করতে পারি।
Please bless me, please have your mercy on me so that I can continue serving Prabhu.
হরে কৃষ্ণ।
Hare Krishna.
আচ্ছা ভুলে গেছি, প্রভু যখন আমি বৃন্দাবন গিয়েছিলাম তখন
Oh, I forgot. When I had gone to Vrindavan,
প্রভুর পঙ্কজাঙ্ঘ্রি প্রভুর প্রথম আমাদের সঙ্গে যখন বৃন্দাবনে যান তখন এই টুপিটা প্রভু পরেছিলেন।
the first time Pankajanghri Prabhu went to Vrindavan, he used to wear this hat. Kholan, tupita kholan.
কেন আমার এই টুপিটা মনে ছিল না।
I forgot about this hat.
আমি জনিয়াস প্রভুকে কি কথা প্রসঙ্গে বললাম তখন প্রভু বলছেন তুমি নরসিংহদেবের কৃপা দেবে পঙ্কজাঙ্ঘ্রি মতো।
Then Jananivas, for some topic, Jananivas was telling me, you want to give the mercy of Nrsimhadev like Pankajanghri used to?
তখন আমার মনে পড়ে গেল যে আমি তো একটা টুপি রেখেছি।
Then I remembered, oh, I have a hat.
তখন আমি প্রভুকে জিজ্ঞাসা করলাম প্রভু এই টুপিটা আপনার না পঙ্কজাঙ্ঘ্রি প্রভুর?
Then I asked Jananivas Prabhu, is this hat is yours or Pankajanghri Prabhu's?
আর প্রেমাঞ্জলি মাতাজি ও প্রভুরা যখন প্রথম বৃন্দাবনে গিয়েছিলেন তখন খুব সুন্দর কেক তৈরি করে দিয়েছিলেন।
Premamanjari Mataji, when they went to Vrindavan, when Prabhus had visited Vrindavan first time, they had made very nice cake.
মাতাজি বলেছিলেন প্রভু স্মৃতি রক্ষার্থে কিছু রাখবে, ও প্রভু স্মৃতি রক্ষার্থে কিছু রাখবে।
So then Mataji had instructed me, please keep some memory of Prabhu.
তখন প্রভুদের আমরা এরকম ভাবে মোজা পরিয়ে নিয়ে যেতাম।
So we used to put socks on Prabhus on the walk.
জনিয়াস প্রভুর মোজাটা নিয়ে আসিনি, এটা পঙ্কজাঙ্ঘ্রি প্রভু। আমার মনে আছে আসলে দুই প্রভুর মোজা আমার একই জায়গায় সব ছিল, এখন বুঝতে পারছি না এটা জনিয়াস প্রভুর মোজা না পঙ্কজাঙ্ঘ্রি প্রভুর মোজা।
So I had both the Prabhu's socks with me in the same place. I don't remember which one is Pankajanghri Prabhu's, which one is Jananivas Prabhu's.
আমার কাছে শুধু 5টা শখ আছে, কেউ মনে হয় একটা নিয়ে নিয়েছে, আমি 6টাই রেখেছিলাম।
I had 3 pairs of socks, but I have only 2.5. Somebody has taken one.
তা প্রভু যেভাবে করেছিলেন, যেহেতু আমি সেবা করতাম সেজন্য আমি এগুলো খুলে খুলে রাখতাম। তা বৃন্দাবন পরিক্রমায় অনেকে নিয়েছে, এটা প্রথম যে ছিঁড়ে যায় সেই শখটা আমি রেখেছিলাম।
So this was the first pair of socks when it was torn, then I had saved it.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Kamalapati Prabhu. Thank you for the nice memorabilia and nice pastimes. Hare Krishna. Now we have His Grace Yogendra Prabhu. Please, if you can come forward. And after Yogendra Prabhu is Dinabandhu Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Badale Shimadajaya Padaka Swami Nikina Vidana Macharya Padaya Nitai Kripa Pradaya Gaura Kadatamata Nagara Gramatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Харе Кришна, преданные, я хочу сказать пару слов, пару историй, прославить Панкаджари Прабhu. Панкаджари Прабhu Ки Джай.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, I want to say a few words to glorify His Grace Pankajanghri Prabhu.
В 2013 году по просьбе преданных
In 2013, some devotees asked me.
Я пришел в офис Джанивасу Панкаджари Прабhu.
And they sent me to the office of Jananivas and Pankajanghri Prabhu, and I came there.
И предложил им свое служение, делать им массажи.
And I offer my service to them to do the massage.
И первый вопрос, который был от Джаниваса Прабhu, он спросил меня, а это больно?
And first question Janivas Prabhu asked me, is it painful?
Я сказал, да, это немножко больно.
I said, little bit painful.
Тогда он ответил, ну, может быть, в следующий раз.
And then Janivas Prabhu said, maybe next time better you come.
Но Панкаджари Прабhu сказал, а я хочу попробовать.
But Pankajanghri Prabhu said, but I want to try.
И так началось мое служение. Я приходил и делал массажи.
And from that moment my seva started. I was coming and doing massages to Prabhus.
Я стелил 2 матраса рядом.
I was putting 2 mattresses.
Они ложились рядом вместе.
And they were laying down together.
И когда я подходил по Панкаджари Прабhu начать давать ему массаж,
Then I was coming to Pankajanghri Prabhu and started from him to make massage.
он всегда показывал пальцем на Джаниваса Прабhu и говорил, начинай с него.
And he always was showing for Jananivas Prabhu and he was saying, start from him.
И после этого я понял, насколько Панкаджари Прабhu заботится о Джанивасе Прабhu.
And after that, I understood how much Pankajanghri Prabhu was caring about Jananivas Prabhu.
И старается сделать для него все самое лучшее.
And he was trying to do the best for Jananivas Prabhu.
И однажды я спросил у Панкаджари Прабhu, задал ему вопрос.
One time I asked Pankajanghri Prabhu.
Наше движение проповедническое.
Because our movement is a preaching movement.
И очень важно куда-то ехать, проповедовать.
And this is very important to go somewhere to preach.
Сознание Кришны.
To preach Krishna consciousness.
Он тогда встал, подошел к окну и говорит, вот что ты там видишь?
Then he stood up and went to the window and he asked me, what do you see there?
Я ответил, я вижу много бенгальских, индийских гостей.
And I said, I see many Bengali, Indian guests.
И он говорит, вот это и есть твоя проповедь.
And he said, this is your preaching.
Бери книгу, иди туда и начинай знакомиться с ними и проповедуй.
Take books and go there, introduce yourself and start to preach.
Не надо ехать куда-то, не нужно придумывать своим умом, что ты должен что-то делать.
No, there's no need to go somewhere. Don't make your mind push on you and think that you should go somewhere.
Господь Чайтанья уже позаботился, здесь в Майяпуре есть абсолютно все.
Lord Chaitanya already took care, and in Mayapur you have everything.
И в этот момент я стал понимать, насколько он привязан к Майяпуру, насколько любит Майяпур.
And that moment I understood how much he attached to Mayapur and how much he loved Mayapur.
И следующая история. Мы однажды его пригласили в Рамкели на проповедь.
One time, devotees invited Pankajanghri Prabhu to the Ramkeli for preaching.
И он попросил меня поехать с ним.
And he asked me to go with him.
Мы приехали, пришли в гостиницу.
And we came there, we came to the hotel.
И вначале нам дали один номер.
And at the beginning they gave us one room.
Пока мы ждали второй, нужно было отдохнуть.
And till we were waiting for second room, we had to take rest.
Он сел на кровать, стал ложиться на нее.
And he sat down on his bed, and he even started to lay down.
И спросил меня: ты устал?
And he asked me, did you tired?
Я говорю: да.
And I said yes.
Он говорит: ну тогда ложись.
He said, then also lay down here.
Рядом со мной.
Together with me.
Пока нет другого номера, ты можешь здесь лежать рядом со мной.
Till they will not give us second room, you can lay down here, you can take rest here with me.
Я поблагодарил его, постелил гамчу рядом с кроватью, лег на пол.
And I thank him very much, but I put my chadar close to the bed and I lay down near to the bed.
И стал размышлять, насколько же он заботливый и дружелюбен.
And I was thinking how much he caring about the devotees and how much friendly he is.
И вечером в этот день он должен был давать лекцию в пандале для преданных и всех гостей из Рамкели.
And at the same day, in evening, he should give a class for devotees, for guests in Ramkeli.
Мы пришли туда вечером. Он подошел ко мне и сказал:
We came in evening, and he called me and said,
я сяду на стул, а ты садись слева от меня рядом на пол.
He said, I will sit on a chair, and you also sit down close to me on the floor from my left side.
Я спросил у него: а зачем я нужен, ведь проповедовать будешь ты.
I asked him, why you need me? You will be preaching, but what I will do?
А он сказал, что на самом деле проповедовать будешь ты, а я буду просто говорить что-то.
And he said, actually, you will be preaching, but I will just speak something.
Потому что твоя тилака на лбу, твоя белая кожа, твоя вайшнавская одежда.
Because your color of your skin, your Vaishnava dress
играет здесь очень важную роль, и все будут смотреть на тебя и
plays a big role, and everybody will look at you.
У них будет рождаться в сердце желание служить вайшнавам.
They will get this desire in their heart to serve the Vaishnavas.
Служить Кришне.
To serve Krishna.
Таким образом, он дал мне понять, что важно не то, что кто-то будет что-то говорить или я буду говорить, а важно то, с каким настроением я пребываю в этом месте.
And I understood from him that it's not so important who's speaking and how he is speaking, but in which mood he is doing things, doing his service.
Вот такими короткими историями я хотел поделиться с вами. Спасибо.
Thank you very much. I just want to share with you these short stories.
Шрила Прабхупада ки джай. Панкаджангри Прабху ки джай. Спасибо. Хари Кришна.
Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Yogendra Prabhu. And now we have His Grace Jananivas Prabhu's eldest brother, Brian. He is, there is a video of him, and he got left out in the morning, so he is going to come on the screen right now. Hare Krishna. So we have Pankajanghri Prabhu's eldest brother, Brian.
So they're actually held up by ropes of air. The way the state of the planet, you know, like when you swing, it flies out. Like that, so the whole thing is in motion. But they're kept in orbit by air ropes of air.
Yeah, I'm just taking a video.
But do you think there's something holding them all up? Is there are they all coming from the same source? The ropes are there. Or not? Is it just sort of coming from the middle of nowhere?
No, it has a source. It has a source.
No, to stop it, I just press that.
Yeah, press the red one again.
Brahma is the creator of the universe.
I'm going to.
So we also have a message from Pankajanghri Prabhu's elder brother, Brian, so I will just read it. I really enjoyed the happy days we spent together with Panka and Jananivas at Mayapur and Lechmore Heath, where we witnessed the love and devotion given so freely by all your wonderful devotees. Hare Krishna, Brother Brian. So thank you, this is such a wonderful message. And it was so nice to have Pankajanghri Prabhu's and Jananivas Prabhu's family with us today in the morning, and now and again message from Brian. Jananivas Prabhu and Pankajanghri Prabhu, they're such a loving people, and they come from such a loving family. So this seed of love and care we can see was planted in their hearts so early from their wonderful family. So we're very, very grateful for sharing your brothers with us here in Mayapur, and we are all looking forward to having your association when you come to Mayapur to spend some time with Jananivas Prabhu. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. Now we have Antadeep Prabhu. He will say a few words about the family.
I'm okay. Hare Krishna. Oh. That's very good. Thank you. I see Subhekshana Prabhu is following Sister Pam's advice and very carefully making sure we've got disinfectant on the microphone. So just like to thank, I've been on doing WhatsApp to Pankajanghri and Jananivas Prabhu's lovely family over in England, and it's been a real pleasure. They're such lovely people. There's Pam and Clive and Gina and Brian, and we've had a very nice exchange. I'd just like to thank them so much for coming and being part of this special occasion for Pankajanghri. Everybody here has really appreciated your offerings and the photographs you sent. I'd just like to say a little word of my own about Pankajanghri and Jananivas Prabhu, in that generally in our society, if people are very capable and very successful in what they do, like Pankajanghri and Jananivas Prabhu are, generally they become sannyasis after a while, then they become spiritual masters, and when all that happens, they become inaccessible generally to a lot of people. You can't get to see them. You have to make appointments. Everything becomes very formal. But all over the time, Pankajanghri and Jananivas have remained simple brahmacharis. And they're like the they're like the train that never left the station. They've always been available, just themselves, never ever changed, and it's just been always nice to be able to count on their association. When everybody else seems to depart for higher roles within the society, they've just remained accessible to everybody. So it's a great loss to lose anyone. I actually personally, I don't feel at all sad for Pankajanghri Prabhu at all. I think it's, I think Pankajanghri is one of the most blessed people you could meet, and his life has been successful. If somebody spends their whole life studying for an exam and they pass with distinction, then everybody's happy. And life is an exam, and Pankajanghri Prabhu has been very successful and passed with distinction, and I feel very, very happy for him. Okay, so thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Antadip Prabhu. Now I'd like to request His Grace Dinabandhu Prabhu to please come over and speak. Is Krishna Chaitanya Masai here? So next we have His Grace Ashray Govinda Prabhu after Dinabandhu Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pestaya Bhutale Srimate Pankajanghri Prabhu Iti Nomine Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanang Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo. आज के श्रीपाद पंकजांघ्रि प्रभुर उद्देश्य आमार जीवने प्रथमबार श्री श्री राधा माधव मंदिरे पंचोत्तर सामने शिल भक्तिचंद ठाकुर शिल प्रभुपाद पंकजांघ्रि प्रभुर सामने बसे उनार सम्बन्धे किछु बोलार जे सौभाग्य अर्जन करेछि तार जन्य आमी निजेके कृतज्ञ लाभ करछि।
I would like to express my gratitude on this day, on the memorial ceremony day of Pankajanghri Prabhu, speaking in front of Sri Sri Panchatattva Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada and His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada and His Grace Pankajanghri Prabhu.
आमी श्रीपाद माधवरी प्रभुर कृपाते जननिवास प्रभु पंकजांघ्रि प्रभुर सान्निध्ये सेवा करार सुयोग पेয়েছিলাম 7-8 বছর। तो
I got the good fortune to serve for 7 or 8 years with Jananivas and Pankajanghri Prabhu by the special mercy of Madhavari Prabhu.
तो पंकजांघ्रि प्रभु একটা যেমন মিষ্টি বা রসগোল্লা, তো রসগোল্লার কোন প্রান্তটা মিষ্টি কোন প্রান্তটা মিষ্টি নয়, তো ঠিক সেইভাবে প্রভুর কোন কথাটা আমি বলবো কোন কথাটা বলবো না, রসগোল্লার মতন প্রত্যেক দিকটা প্রভুর মিষ্টির মতন।
Just like a rasagholla, every side of a rasagholla is very sweet. Similarly, I have been asked to speak. I was thinking which story should I narrate. There is no such story that is not sweet in regards to Pankajanghri Prabhu.
সূর্য যেমন প্রত্যেক দিন পূর্ব দিকে উদিত হয়ে পশ্চিম দিকে অস্ত যান, ঠিক বৈষ্ণবগণ তার জীবনকাল ভিতরে শিল গুরুদেবের নির্দেশে ভগবানের সেবা করার জন্য এই ধরাধামে অবতীর্ণ হয়ে থাকেন। তার সূর্যদেবের মতন পূর্ব দিকে উদিত হয়ে পশ্চিম দিকে অস্ত যাওয়ার মতো সারাদিনের সমস্ত কার্যকলাপ শেষ করে ওনারা আবার বিশ্রামে যান।
Just like the sun also rises in the east and at a certain time of the day sets in the west. Similarly, Pankajanghri Prabhu, his entire life he has dedicated in the service of his spiritual master, and at a certain point he has taken eternal rest.
তো পঙ্কজাঙ্ঘ্রি প্রভু জননিবাস প্রভু মানে ইস্কন মায়াপুরের চন্দ্রদেব মন্দিরের পূজারি ডিপার্টমেন্টের ওনারা হচ্ছেন অভিভাবক।
Jananivas Prabhu and Pankajanghri Prabhu, they are the guardians of ISKCON Mayapur's Pujari department.
তো রাধা মাধব মানে আমি বুঝি জননিবাস প্রভু, নরসিংহদেব মানে পঙ্কজাঙ্ঘ্রি প্রভু। তো
We know that Radha Madhava's care means we know Jananivas Prabhu, and Narsinga Deva's care means Pankajanghri Prabhu.
কোনো রাধা মাধব মন্দিরে অল্টার ভিতরে কোনো কিছু সুবিধা অসুবিধা বা কোনো রাধা মাধব সম্বন্ধে কিছু জানার জন্য বা কিছু বলার জন্য জননিবাস প্রভুর নির্দেশ বা জননিবাস প্রভুকে জিজ্ঞাসা করার প্রয়োজন থাকে। তো পঙ্কজাঙ্ঘ্রি প্রভু ঠিক তদ্রূপ নরসিংহদেব অল্টারে কিছু প্রয়োজন বা কিছু পূজারীর সমস্ত প্রয়োজনীয় জিনিসপত্র বা কিছু প্রয়োজন পঙ্কজাঙ্ঘ্রি প্রভু সেগুলো দেখাশোনা করে থাকেন।
So anything to do with Radha Madhava's altar, Jananivas Prabhu was in charge and he was the one concerned. So if we needed anything, we would approach Jananivas Prabhu, and in a similar manner, if anything was required from Nrsingadev's altar, any puja, any prayers or any services, then we would approach Pankajanghri Prabhu.
পঙ্কজাঙ্ঘ্রি প্রভু মন্দিরে যেমন একটা পরিবারের অভিভাবক, তার ছেলে, তার মেয়ে, তার পরিবারের সদস্যরা কে কী করছে না করছে তার সমস্ত সুবিধা অসুবিধা সমস্ত কিছু তার অভিভাবক তার আপত্তি অভিযোগ শুনে থাকেন। ঠিক রাধা মাধব মন্দিরে, নরসিংহদেব মন্দিরে সমস্ত কিছু সুবিধা সুবিধা যা কিছু প্রয়োজনীয় সমস্ত কিছু প্রভুরাই তার দিকদর্শন করে থাকেন।
Just like in a family, there are guardians, and the guardians, they would hear the different affairs of the family. Similarly, Jananivas Prabhu and Pankajanghri Prabhu, they would take care of the different affairs of the Radha Madhava altar and Nrsingadeva altar.
এমনকি বিভিন্ন জায়গা থেকে ভক্তরা আসেন মন্দিরে কিছু সেবা করার সুযোগ পাওয়ার জন্য। সেক্ষেত্রে ডিটি কিচেনে যদি কিছু সেবা করতে হয় তো পঙ্কজাঙ্ঘ্রি প্রভুর কাছে পারমিশন নিতে হয়। উনি আগে জিজ্ঞেস করেন, তুমি কি ব্রাহ্মণ দীক্ষা হয়েছে, তুমি কেন সেবা করবে? প্রভুর পারমিশন নেওয়ার পরে ডিটি কিচেনে সেবা করার উনি সুযোগ লাভ করে থাকেন।
Even if some devotees come from other temples and they are interested in doing some deity seva, or say they would like to do some service in the deity kitchen, then they would require permission of Pankajanghri Prabhu. Pankajanghri Prabhu would inquire from them if they were second initiated or not, and then he would decide whether to allow them to do the service or not.
এমনকি যে কোনো অল্টারে কোনো সেবা করতে হলে বা বাসন বা কিছু সেবা করতে হলে তো সমস্ত কিছু ব্যাপারে প্রভুদের বিনা নির্দেশে কেউ করেন না। তো সবাই প্রভুদের নির্দেশকেও লক্ষ্য করে থাকেন, প্রভুরা অনুমতি দিলেই করে ওনারা আনন্দ লাভ করেন।
So every day everybody would wait for the directions of Prabhu. Even if somebody would want to do the deity dishes, the pots and pans, even to wash those things, the arati paraphernalia, they would require permission of Pankajanghri Prabhu. And when the Prabhus would agree, then only that person would be blessed to do that service.
তো প্রভুদের যে সমস্ত লীলা বা প্রভুদের সমস্ত সেবাই মন্দিরে দায়িত্ব নিয়ে পরিচালনা করে থাকেন, সেগুলো পুঙ্খানুপুঙ্খভাবে বলতে গেলে অনেক সময় যাবে, তবে আমি বেশি কিছু বলবো না।
So to describe all the different details of the different services carried out by the two Prabhus would take a long time, but I will not get into those details.
তো একটা কথা আমার মনে পড়ে,
I remember one thing.
জননিবাস প্রভু পঙ্কজাঙ্ঘ্রি প্রভু একবার বোম্বে যাবেন, তো গাড়ি ব্রহ্মচারীর সামনে রেডি আছে। তো
So once Jananivas Prabhu and Pankajanghri Prabhu were to visit Bombay and the car was ready for their departure.
তো মাধবরী প্রভু আমাকে বললেন প্রভুদেরকে যাও ডেকে নিয়ে আসো।
Madhavari Prabhu told me to go and call the brothers.
আমি গিয়ে প্রভুদেরকে ব্যাগ নিয়ে প্রভুদেরকে ডেকে নিয়ে আসছি। তো
So as I was calling the two Prabhus,
তো প্রভুরা এভাবে উনাদের মানে উদাসীনতা, উনারা এইভাবে সরলতা, ওরা যে যাবেন উনার যে ঘরে, আমরা কোথাও গেলে আমাদের ঘর বন্ধ করে জিনিসপত্র গুটিয়ে বাক্স তালা দিয়ে সব গুছিয়ে আমরা যাই, কিন্তু প্রভুদের ক্ষেত্রে আমি লক্ষ্য করে দেখি প্রভুদের কেবল সেবা আর ওনাদের যেটাই মেন জিনিস, কোথায় যাবেন বা কী করবেন সেটাও পরিচিত, যে প্রত্যেকটা জিনিস ওদের এসব কিছু ওনারা উদাসীন থাকেন।
so if we have to travel somewhere, we would make sure that our belongings are properly locked up and everything is tidy and all that. But in case of the Prabhus, they were not so concerned, and they would simply, they were completely assured that everything would be taken care of for them.
কিছু কাপড় নেবেন, কি নিজের কোলগেট ব্রাশ, সাবান, কি চপ্পল, ওনাদের পুরো একদম বাচ্চা ছেলের মতন সব কিছু, মানে মানে কিছু মনে করেন না, ওনারা যেখানে যেতে হবে বাস চললেন, যা করতে হবে করলেন, পুরো একদম আশ্চর্য, মানে খুব আশ্চর্য লাগে ওনাদের যে সমস্ত কার্যকলাপ থেকে।
Sometimes their activities would actually look quite wonderful. If they had to go somewhere, they would simply take off, and there would not be adequate arrangements or anything, but they didn't mind, they just would go.
এরকম আমরা অনেক বৈষ্ণব কাছ থেকে শুনেছি, তো বৃন্দাবনে অনেক লীলা সম্বন্ধে শুনেছি যে গোস্বামীরা থাকেন, ওনারা কালকে যে কি খাবেন, কি আছে না আছে, কি পরবেন, কোথায় ঘুমাবেন, এসব কথা ওনাদের চিন্তাধারা থাকে না। তো প্রভুদের কাছে ঠিক সেই রকম কিছু আমি দেখতে পেতাম।
So we have heard that the Goswamis of Vrindavan, they would not know what would be their meal next day, but still they would not worry about it. So we have seen that the similar habits were there in the nature of the two Prabhus.
তো আর বেশি সময় নিব না, আমি আজকে সুযোগ পেয়েছি প্রভুদের চরণে আমার জ্ঞাতে অনেক ভুল ত্রুটি করেছি, ওনাদের কাছে আমি ক্ষমা প্রার্থনা করছি।
So on this auspicious occasion, I would like to beg forgiveness for any offenses committed knowingly or unknowingly at the lotus feet of the two Prabhus.
তো আমি নিঃসন্দেহে জানি যে পঙ্কজাঙ্ঘ্রি প্রভু ওনার গুরুদেব প্রভুপাদের কাছে উনি ঘুরে গেছেন, এখানে উনি গুরুদেবের নির্দেশে সেবায় ব্যস্ত আছেন।
I am completely sure that Pankajanghri Prabhu is back with his spiritual master, engaged in his loving service.
তো এই অবসরে আমি প্রভুর কাছে ক্ষমা প্রার্থনা চাইবো আমার নিজের ভুল ত্রুটির জন্য। প্রভু আমাকে কৃপা করবেন, আমি যেরকম ওনার পথ অনুসরণ করে সারা জীবন শ্রী মায়াপুর চন্দ্রদেব মন্দিরে সেবা করে যেতে পারি।
So I beg Prabhu for his blessings and mercy so that I can continue to serve in Sri Mayapur Chandrodaya Mandir for the rest of my life.
বাঞ্ছা কল্পতরুভ্যশ্চ কৃপা সিন্ধুভ্যেবচ পতিতানাং পাবনেভ্যো বৈষ্ণবেভ্যো নমো নমঃ।
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Dinabandhu Prabhu. Now I would like to request His Grace Ashray Govinda Prabhu to come forward and say something.
হরে কৃষ্ণ। বাঞ্ছা কল্পতরুভ্যশ্চ কৃপা সিন্ধুভ্যেব চ পতিতানাং পাবনেভ্যো বৈষ্ণবেভ্যো নমো নমঃ। শ্রীপাদ পঙ্কজাঙ্ঘ্রি প্রভু কি জয়। শাস্ত্রে বর্ণনা করা আছে বৈষ্ণবের 64 গুণের কথা বলা হয়েছে।
The scriptures describe the 26 qualities of a Vaishnava.
তো আমরা দেখতে পাই পঙ্কজাঙ্ঘ্রি প্রভুরও সেরকম প্রচুর মাত্রায় গুণ রয়েছে।
So we also see that Pankajanghri Prabhu also had many qualities.
উনি খুবই দৈন বৈষ্ণব।
He was a very humble Vaishnav.
উনি খুব কৃপালু বৈষ্ণব।
He was a very merciful Vaishnav.
ওনাদের কোনো শত্রু নেই এই জগতে।
They have no enemies in this world.
আমি পঙ্কজাঙ্ঘ্রি প্রভুর সম্বন্ধে যে গুণগুলোর কথা বলছি সেগুলো জননিবাস প্রভুর ভেতরেও বিদ্যমান।
The qualities I am describing of Pankajanghri Prabhu, those qualities are also present in Jananivas Prabhu equally.
জড়জাগতিক দৃষ্টিকোণ থেকে আমরা দেখতে পাই জননিবাস প্রভু এবং পঙ্কজাঙ্ঘ্রি প্রভু তারা বিদেশী।
From the material perspective we see that Jananivas Prabhu and Pankajanghri Prabhu, they are foreigners.
কিন্তু শ্রী চৈতন্য মহাপ্রভুর কৃপায়, শ্রী কৃষ্ণের কৃপায় তারা এই জগতের মানুষকে উদ্ধার করার জন্য এবং মায়াপুর চন্দ্রোদয় মন্দিরে রাধা মাধব এবং নৃসিংহদেবের সেবা করার জন্যই তারা চিন্ময় জগৎ থেকে এখানে এসেছেন।
But by the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in order to spread Krishna consciousness in this world and to take care of the wonderful deities of Sri Dham Mayapur, they have appeared in this world.
একটু আগে পূজ্যপাদ দীনবন্ধু গোপীনাথ প্রভু বলছিলেন,
just a little earlier His Grace Dinabandhu Prabhu was saying,
রাধা মাধবের সেবা মানে জননিবাস প্রভু,
Radha Madhava's service means Jananivas Prabhu,
এবং এবং নৃসিংহদেবের সেবা মানেই হচ্ছে হিজ গ্রেস পঙ্কজাঙ্ঘ্রি প্রভু।
and Nrsimhadev seva means Sripad Pankajanghri Prabhu.
তাই পঙ্কজাঙ্ঘ্রি প্রভু এবং জননিবাস প্রভু হচ্ছেন ইসকন শ্রীধাম মায়াপুর চন্দ্রোদয় মন্দিরের বিভিন্ন মেইন পিলারের মধ্যে দুইজন পিলার।
Therefore Jananivas Prabhu and Pankajanghri Prabhu are the two main pillars in the different departments of Sridham Mayapur.
শুধু মায়াপুরের মেইন পিলার নয়,
they are not only the main pillars of Mayapur.
শিল প্রভুপাদ এই জগতে যত মন্দির তৈরি করেছেন,
Srila Prabhupada in this world, the number of temples that he has established,
তৎপশ্চাৎ শিল প্রভুপাদের শিষ্যবর্গরাও যত মন্দির প্রতিষ্ঠা করেছেন,
and after Srila Prabhupada, all the disciples of Srila Prabhupada, all the temples that have been established by the disciples of Srila Prabhupada,
এই সমস্ত মন্দিরের পিলার হচ্ছে জননিবাস প্রভু এবং পঙ্কজাঙ্ঘ্রি প্রভু।
The main pillars of all of these temples are actually Jananivas Prabhu and Pankajanghri Prabhu.
কেননা সমস্ত মন্দিরেই বিগ্রহ হচ্ছে, বিগ্রহকে কেন্দ্র করেই সেবা চলতে থাকে।
Because all the temples, they run because of these services which are centered around the deities of the temple.
তো জননিবাস প্রভু এবং পঙ্কজাংঘ্রি প্রভু ছাড়া কোনো মন্দিরের পূজা বিধিবদ্ধভাবে সম্ভব নয়।
Without Jananivas Prabhu and Pankajanghri Prabhu, no service in any temple is possible in a regulated manner.
আমার মনে পড়ে 2001 সালে বা 2000 সালে
I remember it was maybe 2001 or year 2000.
শিলিগুড়ি মন্দির প্রতিষ্ঠা।
The Siliguri temple was being inaugurated.
জননিবাস প্রভু এবং পঙ্কজাংঘ্রি প্রভু সেখানে উপস্থিত ছিলেন।
Jananivas Prabhu and Pankajanghri Prabhu were present there.
সেখানের যে মেইন শালিগ্রাম শিলা,
the main Shalagram Shila of that temple,
জননিবাস প্রভু এবং পঙ্কজাংঘ্রি প্রভু ফার্স্ট ওনারা অভিষেকের মাধ্যমে সেখানে প্রতিষ্ঠা করেন।
Pankajanghri Prabhu and Jananivas Prabhu, they first performed the Abhishek in order to inaugurate the services.
শুধু তাই নয়, আমরা দেখতে পাই আমাদের হরিহর ক্ষেত্রর বিগ্রহ যখন চুরি হয়ে যায়,
Not only that, when the deities from the Harihar Kshetra was stolen,
আবার যখন সেই বিগ্রহকে ফিরে পাওয়া যায়,
when we got those deities back again,
সেখানে জননিবাস প্রভু এবং পঙ্কজাংঘ্রি প্রভু গিয়ে রিইনস্টল করেন।
Jananivas Prabhu and Pankajanghri Prabhu went there and they reinstalled that deity.
তো আমরা দেখতে পাই শুধু ইসকন বলে নয়,
So not only ISKCON as we see,
তাদের কৃপা সমস্ত জগতে পরিবর্ষিত হচ্ছে।
their mercy is showered on the whole world.
আমার মনে পড়ে 2000 সালে যখন বন্যা হয়েছিল,
I remember during the floods of the year 2000,
তখন এখন অনেকে বড় হয়ে গেছে, তাদেরকে দেখতে পাই মায়াপুরে, তারা তখন খুব ছোট ছিলেন।
so many of those people, they have grown up now, but they were very little at that time.
এখানে হয়তো দুই একজন আছেন,
maybe one or two are here also present.
আমি তাদের নাম বলতে চাই না।
I don't want to mention their names.
জল যখন একটু কমেছে,
when the water reduced a bit,
পঙ্কজাংঘ্রি প্রভু এবং জননিবাস প্রভু রাধা মাধবের সামনে তারা সাঁতার কাটছেন।
Pankajanghri Prabhu and Jananivas Prabhu, they were
সাঁতার কাটছিলেন,
they were swimming in the waters
এবং জল ক্রিয়া করছিলেন,
and they were having some water pastime.
সমস্ত বাচ্চাদের সঙ্গে পঙ্কজাংঘ্রি প্রভু যেভাবে খেলা করছিলেন, মনে হচ্ছিল পঙ্কজাংঘ্রি প্রভু তাদের মতো একটা বাচ্চা শিশু।
And the way Pankajanghri Prabhu was playing with the little children, it seemed like Pankajanghri Prabhu was also one of the children.
এখনো পর্যন্ত জননিবাস প্রভু পঙ্কজাংঘ্রি প্রভু ওনাদের শিশু সুলভ মনোভাব।
Still to this day, Jananivas Prabhu and Pankajanghri Prabhu, they have the childlike mentality.
যেটা আমি 2000 সালে প্রথম দেখেছিলাম, সেটা এখনো তাদের ভেতরে বিদ্যমান।
What I had noticed in the year 2000, that is still present in them.
আমি গত বছর দুপুর 1-1:30 নাগাদ হবে,
last year at about 1 or 1:30 in the afternoon,
আমি যাচ্ছিলাম আমার বাড়িতে ছোট স্কুটি চালিয়ে।
I was going to my home with my little scooty.
আমার স্কুটিটা ব্রহ্মচারী আশ্রমের সামনে ছিল।
My scooty was in front of the Brahmachari ashram.
তো হঠাৎ দেখছি সেখানে পঙ্কজাংঘ্রি প্রভু এবং জননিবাস প্রভু হেঁটে আসছেন।
I noticed suddenly that Jananivas Prabhu and Pankajanghri Prabhu was walking towards that.
তো ওনার জন্য হয়তো কারোর জন্য অপেক্ষা করছিলেন।
Somebody might have been waiting for them.
তা আমি জননিবাস প্রভু এবং পঙ্কজাংঘ্রি প্রভুকে জিজ্ঞেস করলাম,
So I asked Jananivas and Pankajanghri Prabhu,
প্রভু আপনারা কোথাও যেতে চাইছেন?
Are you planning to go somewhere?
আমি আপনাদের এক এক করে পৌঁছে দিতে পারি।
I could take one of you at a time and drop you.
তো ওনারা এত দৈন বৈষ্ণব, ওনারা আমাকে বললেন না 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 না, আমরা হেঁটে যাব।
They are such humble Vaishnavas. They said, no, we'll walk there.
তা আমি জিজ্ঞেস করলাম কোথায় যাবেন?
Then I asked, where you are going?
তো জননিবাস প্রভু সাধারণত একটু চুপচাপ শান্ত প্রকৃতি, মানে শান্ত অবস্থায় থাকেন।
Jananivas Prabhu is more quiet.
উনি কিছু বললেন না।
He didn't say anything.
পঙ্কজাংঘ্রি প্রভু বলছেন,
Pankajanghri Prabhu said,
আমি সখী নিবাসে যাব।
I am going to Sakhi Nivas.
তা আমি বললাম যে কোনো গাড়ি আসবে?
I said, is any vehicle coming to pick you up?
বলছে ওনারা গাড়ি পাঠানোর কথা কিন্তু আসেনি।
He said they were supposed to send some vehicle, but somehow the vehicle didn't arrive.
তা আমি বললাম তাহলে একটা টোটো রেখে দিই।
So then I said, okay, let me then call a Toto.
বলছে না না, আমাদের দুজনকে তুমি তোমার স্কুটিতে করে পৌঁছে দাও।
He said, no need, you just carry both of us on the scooty.
তা আমি ভয় পাচ্ছিলাম, দুজন অসাধারণ বৈষ্ণব এই ছোট স্কুটিতে করে বসিয়ে নিয়ে যাব, যদি কিছু হয়ে যায় তাহলে তো আমি জানি না কি হবে।
So I was a little bit afraid, thinking these two extraordinary Vaishnavas, I will put them on my little scooty, what if something will happen? So I was a little scared.
তো আমি পঙ্কজাঙ্ঘ্রি প্রভুকে বললাম, প্রভু আপনার দুজনেই বাইকে বসতে পারবেন?
Then I told Pankajanghri Prabhu, you can both sit on my, you will both fit on my bike.
তো পঙ্কজাঙ্ঘ্রি প্রভু বললেন, উই ক্যান ম্যানেজ ইট।
Pankajanghri Prabhu said, আমরা কোনো রকম ভাবে ব্যবস্থা করে নেব।
তো ওনার দুই উচ্চমানের বৈষ্ণব আমার স্কুটির পেছনে বসলেন, আমি গাড়ি চালিয়ে ওই সখী নিবাসে পৌঁছে দিলাম।
So both of them they sat on the back of my scooty and I drove it to the Sakhi Nivas.
আমি বললাম যে তাহলে আপনারা কখন ফিরে যাবেন মন্দিরে, আমি সেই সময় আসব।
Then I said to them, when you want to return back to the temple, I'll come back at that time.
পঙ্কজাঙ্ঘ্রি প্রভু বললেন, না না দরকার নেই, আমরা ঠিক চলে যাব, তোমাকে আসতে হবে না।
Pankajanghri Prabhu said, no need, we will manage ourselves.
অ্যাকচুয়ালি ওই স্কুটিটা তখন নতুন ছিল, আমি ভাবছিলাম যে যদি জননিবাস প্রভুকে একদিন স্কুটিতে চালাতে পারি তাহলে আমার স্কুটিটা হয়তো পবিত্র হয়ে যাবে।
Actually that scooty was brand new, so I was thinking if Jananivas Prabhu would be there on the scooty, then actually my scooty would be purified.
So আমি এটা মনে মনে চিন্তা করছিলাম, আমি মনে মনে চিন্তা করছিলাম।
So I was thinking,
কিন্তু কয়েকদিন পরেই দেখছি ওনারা নিজেরাই বললেন স্কুটিতে করে আমাকে পৌঁছে দেন।
But then I was only thinking about that, but after some time they themselves offered to come with on my scooty to.
এটা হচ্ছে একজন শুদ্ধ বৈষ্ণবের লীলা বা গুণ।
So these are the wonderful qualities of the Vaishnavas.
যারা অন্যের মনের ইচ্ছার কথা বুঝতে পারেন।
They understand the mentality of others, the desire of others' mind.
কার্তিক নবদ্বীপ মণ্ডল পরিক্রমায় স্টপ লাস্ট ওকে, কার্তিক নবদ্বীপ মণ্ডল পরিক্রমায়
on the Navadvip Mandal Parikrama in Kartik,
তো পঙ্কজাঙ্ঘ্রি প্রভু এবং জননিবাস প্রভু দুজনে যেতেন।
Pankajanghri Prabhu and Jananivas Prabhu both would go.
তো গোরাদহে যখন প্রভু গেলেন তখন বাজে ঠিক 9টার একটু আগে, সকাল 9টার একটু আগে।
When they went to Goradaho, that was just before 9 a.m.
তো গোরাদহের একটা লীলা আছে, যদি কেউ গোরাদহে তার শরীরকে মাটিতে রোলিং করে তাহলে সমস্ত পাপ থেকে সে মুক্ত হয়ে যায়।
So one of the specialities, one of the characteristics of Goradaha is that if somebody will roll his body on the ground there, he will be relieved of all sinful reactions.
তো পঙ্কজাঙ্ঘ্রি প্রভু ওখানে যাওয়ার মাত্রই উনি মাটিতে রোলিং করতে লাগলেন।
Pankajanghri Prabhu, as soon as he arrived there, he started rolling there on the ground.
এবং ওনাকে দেখে দেখে সমস্ত মোটামুটি 200-250 ভক্ত ছিল, সবাই রোলিং করতে লাগলো।
And seeing him, there was 200 to 250 devotees. They all started rolling on the ground there.
তার মধ্যে কিছু ভক্ত ছিল তারা রোলিং করেনি, বসেছিল বা দাঁড়িয়ে ছিল।
And amongst them there are some devotees, they did not roll, they were just sitting there.
তো পঙ্কজাঙ্ঘ্রি প্রভু সেখান থেকে মাটি নিয়ে যারা যারা রোলিং করেনি তাদের মাথার উপরে ছিটিয়ে দিল।
So Pankajanghri Prabhu took some dust from there, and those who did not roll on the ground, he sprinkled the dust on their heads.
তো তিনি সেখানেও তার ভক্তদের প্রতি তিনি কৃপা পরিবর্ষণ করলেন।
So in this way he also distributed the mercy, his causeless mercy on those devotees.
তারপরে তিনি সেদিনকে তারপরে যখন মুরারি গুপ্তের বাড়িতে গেলেন,
Then when he went to Murari Gupta Prabhu's house,
সেখানে জননিবাস প্রভু পঙ্কজাঙ্ঘ্রি প্রভু প্রত্যেক বছর নাটক করতেন, কলা বেচা শ্রীধরের রোল করতেন।
so there Jananivas Prabhu and Pankajanghri Prabhu, they would perform Kola Vecha Sridhar pastime there.
সেখানে তিনি কলা বেচতেন, তিনি কিছুটা খেতেন, অন্য ভক্তদেরকে তার উৎসৃষ্ট দিতেন, এরমভাবে ভক্তদের মধ্যে ভাবের আদান প্রদান করতেন।
So there he would sell the banana, he would eat some of the banana, he would share the banana with others. In this way he would express different types of expressions.
এইভাবে পঙ্কজাঙ্ঘ্রি প্রভু এবং জননিবাস প্রভু ভক্তদেরকে প্রচুর পরিমাণে কৃপা পরিবর্ষণ করে এসেছেন।
In this way devotees have been entertained and have been showered with mercy by Pankajanghri Prabhu and Jananivas Prabhu.
আমি সম্পূর্ণভাবে বিশ্বাস করি এবং আমি জানি নৃসিংহদেব পঙ্কজাঙ্ঘ্রি প্রভুকে ওনার ধামে ফিরিয়ে নিয়ে গেছেন তার নিত্য সেবার জন্যে।
I completely am assured, I am completely positive that Lord Nrsingadev has taken Pankajanghri Prabhu back home, back to Godhead for the Lord's eternal service.
শ্রীপাদ পঙ্কজাঙ্ঘ্রি প্রভু কি জয়, শিল প্রভুপাদ কি জয়। হরে কৃষ্ণ।
Hare Krishna. Thank you. And now we are running short of time, so we would request the devotees to please keep it short. Now I request Madhavi to please come over and glorify Pankajanghri Prabhu. And after Madhavi it will be Audariya Leela Mataji.
Krishna. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurumilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So many devotees have told so many pastimes about Pankajanghri Prabhu and have captured his essence so perfectly. And since we're short of time, I'll just share a few pastimes that further give evidence to his beautiful personality that's full of compassion and kindness, humor and love. The devotees in Mayapur, especially those that are closer to doing service for the deities, they live and they breathe for the approval of Jananivas Prabhu and Pankajanghri Prabhu. So when you get their approval, it's like getting a confirmed ticket back to the spiritual world. But the difficulty is that you can never get both of their approval at the same time. I remember I was doing some service with Stuti Mataji and I told her, I said, I showed Jananivas Prabhu what I did and he didn't really like it. I showed Pankajanghri Prabhu and he was quite impressed. And Stuti Mataji told me, she said, never try to make them both happy at once. You have to choose one and try to make them happy. So one year, in 2016, it was my first year that I was given the chance to organize the decorations for Panchatattva for Nityananda Trayodashi. And the girls and I worked very hard. We meditated on Nityananda Prabhu in his Namhata, and we read Bhaktivinoda Thakur's descriptions of Nityananda Prabhu's Namhata, and we worked for weeks and weeks. And in the evening, I remember Jananivas Prabhu, he beckoned me over with his finger. He said, come. So I remember feeling so happy that in the same day, I pleased my Guru Maharaj, I pleased Jananivas Prabhu, I pleased Pankajanghri Prabhu, which is, according to many devotees who do service, a very hard thing to do. And a few days later, we were tidying up after the festival, and I was moving Panchatattva's Bhoga table. And me and another girl, we were moving Panchatattva's Bhoga table, and I could see it moving in slow motion in front of me, and it just flipped, and it fell on the floor, just smashed. And all of a sudden, I see blood everywhere. And I realized that my finger was smashed and I was missing a fingernail. And the only thing that I could think about is like, oh no, I just made Pankajanghri Prabhu so happy, and now I have to go and tell him that I broke Panchatattva's table. I was so scared to go and tell him. And I went there, and I went up to his room, and this was after it had gotten bandaged up. And I went up to his room, and I couldn't bring myself to tell him that I'd broken Panchatattva's Bhoga table. And he was like, he said, well, spit it out, what happened? And I said, Pankajanghri Prabhu, I'm so sorry. I was trying to clean, and we were moving the table, and I broke Panchatattva's table. I'm really, really sorry. I'm so sorry. And he noticed that my finger was bandaged up. He said, forget the table. What happened to your finger? And I said, oh, it got smashed. And I remember thinking in that moment that Nityananda Prabhu was smashing my ego, that I, became a little puffed up by pleasing the devotees, by pleasing Pankajanghri Prabhu. And he said, oh, you poor baby. And he pretended to doctor my finger. And he said, is it all better now? And I was just thinking about this pastime, and Pankajanghri Prabhu, he was there to doctor my finger, to doctor my ego, just everything, in every way. Like everything, like Gaurangi said earlier, every single interaction meant the whole entire world to us. So, today I was just thinking, at that time, Pankajanghri Prabhu, he doctored my finger. Now, who's going to doctor our broken hearts? And I've been thinking this for a few days. And this morning, His Holiness Bhakti Purushottam Maharaj spoke, and he said that this separation will never go away. It's always going to be there, but it's so conducive. It's so conducive to our advancement in Krishna consciousness. And it's necessary, not just conducive, it's necessary. And so I just pray that we're able to now especially hold on to all of Pankajanghri Prabhu's Vani and all the instructions that he's given to us. I feel like I never would have had any opportunities of service without his mercy, without the mercy of him and Jananios Prabhu. And the only way that I've ever been able to have any kind of vision or any kind of clarity or any kind of knowledge about Mayapur is because of Jananios Prabhu and Pankajanghri Prabhu and their example. So it's my only prayer now that Pankajanghri Prabhu give us the strength to keep his teachings close to our heart and to be able to carry on in a way that will please him and make him proud of all of those people whose approval meant everything.
Yes, you are.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Coming soon. Madhavi, Odalia, and Vagisha. Vagisha is not here, so Narada. After two people. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Madhavi. Now I request Her Grace Audarya Leela Mataji to please come over and glorify Pankajanghri Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Sorry for my terrible accent, but I will try my best. In 2012, me and my husband came in Mayapur. during Gaura Purnima festival, and we supposed to stay in Mayapur after. And Gaura Purnima festival finished, then Ganga Safari with Guru Maharaj also was complete, and just normal life start to take its form, some sadhana. And Janivasan Pankajanghri Prabhu was giving classes for Russian devotees in MCS hall. Janivas Prabhu gave classes on Tuesdays, Pankajanghri Prabhu on Wednesdays. After Pankajanghri Prabhu's class, he went to the temple on the path from MCS hall, and I was a little bit behind him, also following same way. And suddenly some mangust cross the path, and Pankajanghri Prabhu looked back to me and told, "Badji." I didn't understand what did he mean, but he told, "Mangust is Badji on Bangla." And since that time I know the name of mangust on Bengali language. And next day after Pankajanghri Prabhu passed, I ride my bicycle and also to Bhagavatam class, and almost on the same place mangust crossed my path. It was like a sign. When we read Brihad Bhagavatamrita, Pankajanghri Prabhu taught us that separation is a special gift to special devotees. So some short time passed from Pankajanghri Prabhu departure, and now we should learn how to be in separation with him. It is so special experience, not ordinary experience, feel separation from great soul, because I feel it really like this sorrow, this deep sorrow is our wealth, it is our right, it is something precious. And I feel like this event have some effect, like it pushed me forward. Like Pankajanghri Prabhu gave me some strength. I feel like that. I don't know how it is possible, but I feel like he is calling and pull me there where he is. And yes, I want to ask blessings from Pankajanghri and Janivas Prabhu to never leave my heart, always stay in my heart. Please, I ask blessings from Janivas and Pankajanghri Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Audari Alila Mataji. Now, I have a small poem from Bhadracharu Prabhu. So I would like to read that. Hare Krishna. Parama Shraddheyo. This is from Bhadracharu Prabhu. Parama Shraddheyo Bhakta Janasrayo Ohe Pankajanghri Prabhu. Most respected, the shelter of the devotees, O Pankajanghri Prabhu. Tomar biroho dukkho durbishaho sahono na jay kobhu. Your separation is unbearable and it is not something that can be easily tolerated. Tomra dui bhai akuntho sadai boikuntho jagat jon Srila Prabhupada tomadero sthiti koriyachen nirupan. You two brothers are always enthusiastic. You are persons from the spiritual world, Vaikuntha. Srila Prabhupada himself has ascertained your eternal position. Aprakrita tavo nitya seva bhav, akoi tavo vyavahar, golok vaibhav jagate sulabh, kori ache anirbar. Your transcendental mood of service is without duplicity, and you have made the opulence of Goloka available in abundance in this world. Ashtasakhi Saho Sri Radha Madhav Nitya Naimittik Seva যেভাবে দুজনা প্রকাশ করেছ জগজন মনোলোভা. The way you have established the service of the Ashtasakis along with Sri Radha Madhava, they are daily and they are festival services. The way you have revealed this service is very much pleasing to the whole world. পঞ্চতত্ত্ব সহ শ্রী রাধা মাধব সেবা সৌষ্ঠবের তরে তোমরা দুজনা নৃসিংহোপাসনা করে থাকো নিরন্তরে. Along with Panchatattva Shri Radha Madhava, in order to continuously perform their service in a very, very wonderful way, you have started the worship of Narsingha Deva. দুজনার দিব্য প্রেম আলিঙ্গন হরি সংকীর্তন আর রথাগ্রে নর্তন যে কইল দর্শন নয়ন সফলতার. Those who have received the embrace of the two brothers and those who have seen the Hari Sankirtana, they are dancing in front of Ratha Yatra, their eyes have become successful. দুজনার তুলনা মেলে না বিশ্ব ব্রহ্মাণ্ডেতে আর কিভাবে বুঝিব তোমাদের গম্ভীর স্বভাব আমি অর্বাচীন ছাড়. The way there is no comparison of the two brothers in the entire universe. How will I understand? I am such a lowly person. They are very deep devotional nature. তব দুজনার আচার প্রচার মোদের সর্বস্ব ধন. You two brothers preaching and your devotional behavior is our greatest wealth. Bhadracharu Das tava daser das koruk sada smaran. May Bhadracharu Das, the servant of your servants, may he remember these wonderful pastimes. Hare Krishna. Jai Bhadracharu Prabhu ki jai. Sripad Pankajanghri Prabhu ki jai. Now I would request His Grace Vagisha Prabhu to please come over if he is here. Otherwise I would request His Grace Narada Muni Prabhu to please come and speak something about Pankajanghri Prabhu.
Thank you.
Om Timirandasya Jananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yana Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Dear devotees, please accept my most humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories His glories Pankajanghri Prabhu. His grace Pankajanghri Prabhu left us so far we have been on the shore of the meeting with him. We are now on another shore, the shore of separation, of the river of Bhakti, as Gaur Govinda Maharaj says. The grave of Sriman Mayapur is indescribable. In the lectures, Pankajanghri Prabhu gives us a lot of philosophical and practical advice. And now he gives is something more. Now give us something more. Leaving, he left us energy to strengthen the desires to return to the spiritual world so that we can meet him again. We are infinitely grateful to be able to do this. Thank you, Pankajanghri Prabhu. We want come back in spiritual world. You give your energy to be make this. We Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Pankajanghri ki jai. All ISKCON devotee, jai. We are non-stop. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Naradamuni Prabhu. Thank you, Naradamuni Prabhu, for your expression of love and devotion. Now I'd like to request His Grace Baladev Vidyabhushan Prabhu to please come forward and say something about Pankajanghri Prabhu. And next I request His Grace Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu.
अज्ञानातिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. Shujitindra Prabhu request me to speak in English, although I want to speak in Bengali. Pankajanghri Prabhu departure worldwide, all the devotees are really in deep separation. Worldwide, our ISKCON devotees in Mayapur, when they come with a package that they can have Radhamada beautiful darshan, Panchatattva darshan, Nishingadev darshan, and two brother darshan. So these are worldwide devotee package. They come Mayapur to visit Mayapur because Mayapur extraordinary presentation is two brother. The way their lifestyle and devotion, everybody as soon as see them gets attracted. And I seen the worldwide devotee when they come Mayapur, they show each other when they walk. When I seen our ISKCON gurus, sometimes they change their secretary and their servant, because there is they get more familiar, there are more chances to do offenses to Guru, because every day they are very close to it, Guru. That's why sometime Gurudev change secretary or servant. But His Grace Pankajani and Janani Prabhu's case, we see every day Mayapur devotees see them, but their respect, love always increase. I see in their face. I like to share one or two small anecdote. 2008, I can remember when he came in Dallas, Pankajanghri Prabhu. So he came in my office. I had a project over there. So I request him to sit on the big chair. The sense of humor, Pankajanghri Prabhu always do with the devotee. So as soon as I request him to sit on that chair, he said, no, I'm not going to sit on that chair. This chair for boss. So I said, Prabhu, you are boss, big boss, please sit on that chair. Then as soon as he sit on chair, he took one file, all the devotees, those are involved in the project, serving in the project, so they came to see Pankajanghri Prabhu. So Pankajanghri Prabhu is giving order, you go there, you do this, you do that, because I am the boss now, so everybody have to follow me. So everybody is really enjoying the Pankajanghri Prabhu way his sense of humor he's doing. So 2008 when I came Mayapur, so he looked at me, when I pay obeisances, he looked at me and he's laughing. So I asked, there is something, reason you're laughing? He said, another sense of humor. He said, after 8 years, how many years in Dallas? I was like, 8 years. He said, after 8 years, he came in brahmachari as good as a sannyasi. So I was laughing the way he is talking. So that year, in a Nishinga Arati is after Mangalarati, so Jai Shishi Panchatattva ki Jai. So Nishingarati was performing by Pujari. The Nishinga camphor lamp is the liquid. So those are devotees carry every day the camphor lamp. They know how to carry it because Harishwari Prabhu announced one time it should be below waist. So the person who was carrying the lamp, he maybe never did it. So he was carrying lamp like this, camphor lamp. So when he carrying lamp and walking towards the devotees, and it was crowded, one devotee tried to take the lamp, and he pushed the camphor lamp, and the liquid, the substance was liquid, fell in my face and another kids who was next to me. So as soon as it fell, I thought my left eyes is gone. So some or other I got inspired to go to kitchen. So and I walked towards the kitchen myself, and suddenly Pankajanghri Prabhu came. And Pankajanghri Prabhu said, what happened? I'm saying, it camphor lamp fell in my face. He said, see you? I know, I seen it. I'm saying, yes. So immediately he ran, find something. So he found some ointment. Where he found it, I don't know. He found it, and he put in my face. I totally closed my eyes because I thought my eyes I lost. Pankajanghri Prabhu told me, don't worry, nothing going to happen. I'm putting your ointment. He's a big boss. Nothing going to happen. Don't worry. So he put the ointment almost 5 minutes. Then I thought I'm not going to stay in the temple. So I walked towards the guest house and I took a nap over there. And after 3 hours, I thought I was scared to see in a mirror that what's happened to me to my face. But as soon as I went to mirror and look at the mirror, it was nothing. So I found it that this was power, extraordinary power, was Pankajanghri Prabhu, and love I got from him. Because it was a liquid, so it's fire, liquid fire. I could not believe it, no spot was there in the face. So one time I saw how humble his authority towards the authority. So one time I asked I had some desire to give Nishingadev golden tongue and gold tilak. So I asked Pankajanghri Prabhu, can you give me the drawing so I can make exactly that Nishingadev need? Then he said, I have to ask authority about tongue because we never did it. And see, you are the head pujari, so it will be any problem? But without authority, I cannot do anything. Give me some time. So anyhow, after he spoke with authority, and then they say, we cannot put golden tongue to Nishingadev, so only I did the tilak. So Pankajanghri Prabhu, the last day when I was sleeping, the day before he left his body, that time one of the devotee called me from America. He said, it's at 12 o'clock midnight. He said, is something true? I said, what is it? He said, we heard the Pankajanghri Prabhu left his body. I said, no. So then immediately I text to Premanjari Mataji. The Mataji is true? Mataji said, no, he's still with us, but the situation is very critical. So then I text to Sujitindriya Prabhu. Sujitindriya Prabhu said yes. So then I thought I'm going to come to see him. So Sujitendra Prabhu told me, yes, you can come over, no problem. So I got the opportunity that night. 12 o'clock I came. Until 6 o'clock did kirtan. Few devotees was there. 2 times we feel kind of that he going to leave now. So then when 6 o'clock when I'm leaving, I pay obeisances, some or other, my mind, I feel that he not going to be with us, maybe another few hours. So then I was feeling tired because of whole night. So then my mind came that one thing came in my mind, that was Narad Muni, that the Kabla request Narad Muni to ask to Lord about him when he can go back to Godhead. So I thought I pay obeisances. Yeah. I pay obeisances and then I pray to Pankajanghri Prabhu. Pankajanghri Prabhu, I know you going back to Godhead. So please, this fallen soul requesting you can ask Lord and beg some mercy for me so I can render devotional service properly and leave this body. So this was last prayer to Pankajanghri Prabhu before I left the last day he left his body. So it is a great opportunity for us that we got Pankajanghri Prabhu in Mayapur. He left his body in Mayapur and we got opportunity to celebrate this program together, although it is a great separation for us. But still we will continue his mood, his love for everyone. Thank you. Hare Krishna. His Grace Pankajanghri Prabhu ki, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki, Gaur Premanande.
Thank you, Prabhu. Now I'd like to request His Grace Krishna Chaitanya Mashai, and after Krishna Chaitanya Mashai, His Grace Golokesh Govinda Prabhu, the servant of Pankajanghri Prabhu, will speak.
Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpatarabhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna. For His Grace Pankajanghri Prabhu, even though he had a very nice, jolly nature, there were certain times he was very, very strict when it came to serving the deities. No sentiments, unnecessary sentiments. There were 2 occasions when he got on my case. He was angry. The first one was in year 2004. I was a 16-year-old boy and became friends with some pujaris, and somehow they asked me if I would like to row the boat for the boat festival, and I said I have never done it. And they told me it's very, very simple, you just keep on rowing, there is nothing, there are other 3 people who know what to do. So I said, okay, who will miss out on that opportunity for rowing the boat for Radha Madhava? And I was doing, and at one point, the boat was going quite fast. And I had absolutely no control over it. And it kept on going faster and faster and faster. And unfortunately, it went and hit the wall where the devotees, they sit. At that point, I was very scared, and the Pankajanghri Prabhu from the other end, he said, "Hey, who is that boy? Who allowed him in?" So at the next point when we came to the stairs, I was told to move out and get somebody else in. And the second time was this year Gaur Purnima, when we decided that we are going to have the Abhishek for all 5 Panchatattva and Mayapur Chandra. So we started preparing everything. It was on a very short notice. We were preparing, trying to get everything done. There was a lot of pressure to get things started on time. So there was a lot of running around, and in the heat of the situation, and to make everything on time, we just picked up the deities, placed them on the chariot, and we started going towards the pandal. And Pankajanghri Prabhu didn't say anything at that time. Let it go. Then when everything was set in motion, everything is moving, and then time he said, "Why you didn't take permission of Jananivas Prabhu? He's the boss. You can't do things without his knowledge. He just picked up the deities, without his knowledge." So it was very, very serious when it came to serving the deities. And we have some funny stories also with him. The Gurukul boys, we are somewhat known for stealing Mahaprasad. And it was one such situation when there was one of the boys, right after Mangal Aarti, went upstairs and he took a lot of Mangal sweets. It was many years ago. Took Mangal sweets and put it in his bead bag. And he started walking down. And the milk is dropping, drop by drop. And as he's going down the stairs, he saw Pankajanghri Prabhu coming up. So his hands were full of Mahasweets, and he had the bead bag full of Mangal sweets with the milk dripping down. And he's scared because Pankajanghri Prabhu is right in front of him. And he's shocked. He becomes like a statue. He's shocked. What to do? And Pankajanghri Prabhu said, stealing Mangal sweets. No reply comes from him. He's just stunned. He's shocked. He says, "What are you doing? Run as fast as you can." That was one. And there was another very good one. It was a few years ago, and we were preparing for Narasimha Chaturdashi festival, Adhivas. And we were up in the room with Jananivas Prabhu, Pankajanghri Prabhu. We are preparing for the Adhivas. And somebody came inside the room and he said, "Prabhu, there is one South Indian Mataji wanting to see you." And Prabhu says, "Sure?" He says, "Yes, she wants to see you now." He says, "Now I'm a little busy." He says, "No, Prabhu, she wants to see you now." He says, "Okay." So he goes outside, opens the door, and he says, "Mataji, you want to see me?" And he turns around like that and walks back straight inside the room. His Mataji is shocked. He's like, "What happened?" He comes out and he's gone. And then Prabhu goes back outside, deals with her, does whatever. But that was Pankajanghri Prabhu. There was one very nice thing for Prabhu I have noticed many times. And in his room, he has few pictures of Narasimhadev. And while he's working over there, anybody, sometimes devotees would come, "Hey, Prabhuji, there is one particular devotee who is very sick. Can you please pray for him?" So every time somebody would do that, he would go dress up, come downstairs, do the puja. But before that, as soon as he hears about somebody being, in need of prayers, he would immediately pray. Immediately, in whatever situation he is, he would immediately pray. Finish whatever he is doing, and then he would come and then pray again officially here in the temple. Very, very loving, very, very caring, mood of Prabhu. He was very obedient. Whatever the decisions was made by the senior authorities or the management, he was very obedient. He may or may not accept what the decision was, but he always followed. The last thing the last point which I would like to make, which touched my heart, was few days ago, well, probably a month and a half ago, before Prabhu left, a few days before Prabhu left, I asked him, I was talking with him, and I asked, Prabhu, how is Jananivas Prabhu with his back? He says, oh, he's in pain. His back is hurting. It's constantly hurting. Before it used to be hurting for a week, and then would go away, but now it's constantly hurting. And I asked, is he taking any medication? He said, yes. I said, maybe it's because of old age that, he's not getting cured of his back pain. And he said, yes. And at that time he said something which touched my heart very much. And because whenever Prabhu speaks, it's full of realizations. At that time he said, we are all fighting a losing battle. And at that time I thought, yes, it's true, Prabhus are old. But then I actually thought that it's a situation with all of us. We are all fighting a losing battle. At one point or another, we will leave this place. And every situation, doesn't matter what situation we are in or where we are, we will all end up leaving our body one day. So we are all fighting a losing battle. And that stayed with me and made a very deep impression in my heart. And I guess because of that sentence, I was able to face the situation of losing Prabhu. So, Hare Krishna. We'll end here. Shri Pankajanghri Prabhu ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Now we'd like to request His Grace Golokesh Govinda Prabhu to please say something. Golokesh Govinda Prabhu was Pankajanghri Prabhu's servant for the last several years.
Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpatarubhasya kipa sindhu bhayavacha patitanam pavaneva vaishnavabhyo namo namah. Jai Srila Prabhupada, Jai Pankajanghri Prabhu ki jai. তো আমি যখন নতুন ভক্ততে থেকে বেরিয়েছি তখন পঙ্কজাঙ্ঘ্রি প্রভু এবং 2013 সালে আমি যখন নতুন ভক্ত থেকে বেরিয়েছি তারপরে আমি পঙ্কজাঙ্ঘ্রি প্রভু এবং জনিনাথ প্রভু সেবায় নিযুক্ত হই। তা আমি যখন প্রথম প্রভুদের ঘরে যাই, গিয়ে পরিষ্কার পরিচ্ছন্ন করি, তো পরিষ্কার পরিচ্ছন্ন করতে করতে ওই সময় একজন বৃন্দাবন থেকে একজন ভক্ত প্রসাদ নিয়ে এসেছিল, কিছু প্রসাদ নিয়েছিল। তো আমি পরিষ্কার করছিলাম, তখন পঙ্কজাঙ্ঘ্রি প্রভু হাতে প্রসাদটা ছিল। তিনি প্রসাদটা বের করে আমার দিকে দেখলো এবং বলল, প্রসাদ নিয়ে যাও। তা আমি কাছে গেলাম, হাতে আমার নোংরা ছিল, আমি পরিষ্কার করছিলাম বলে প্রভু বললো না, হাতে দিল না আমার হাতে। তো তিনি আমার মুখ বললো হা করো, আমার মুখে দিয়ে দিলেন প্রসাদটা। তিনি খুবই বাবার স্নেহে, বাবার মতন আমাকে স্নেহে দিয়েছিলেন। খুব সুন্দর লাগলো আমার সেদিনটা। তো এইভাবে আমি প্রভুদের সেবায় করে যাচ্ছি। তারপরে আমি যখন ওনাদের সেবা করি, তো ওনারা আমাকে, আমি ইংলিশ ভালো জানি না, তো ওনারা জানতেন, ওই জন্য আমাকে আমার সঙ্গে যখন কথা বলতেন, এমনিতে জগন্নাথ প্রভু তাড়াতাড়ি কথা বলতেন, কিন্তু পঙ্কজাঙ্ঘ্রি প্রভু জানেন যে আমি পঙ্কজাঙ্ঘ্রি প্রভু একটু তাড়াতাড়ি কথা বলেন আর জনিদাস প্রভু একটু ধীরে সুস্থে কথা বলেন। এই জন্য পঙ্কজাঙ্ঘ্রি প্রভু আমার সঙ্গে যখন কথা বলতেন একটু আস্তে আস্তেই কথা বলতেন, ধীরে সুস্থে। এটা খুবই আমার ভালো লাগতো। এবং অনেক সময় কী হতো, তিনি ইংলিশ বলতেন আবার মাঝে সাঝে বাংলাও বলে ফেলতেন। তো আমি মনে করতাম এটা আবার কী শব্দ বলছে, ইংলিশের মধ্যে বাংলা মিশিয়ে যেত। তা আমি তখন বুঝতে পারতাম না, আবার তিনি ওই বাংলাটাই ইংলিশে বলে দিতেন, তখন আমি ঠিক বুঝতে পারতাম যে এটা হবে এরকমভাবে। তারপরে লাস্ট টাইমে যখন আমি ওনার সঙ্গে এমনি হসপিটালে ছিলাম এক সময়, তো উনি যখন হসপিটাল ছিলেন ওই সময় একজন নার্স ছিল সঙ্গে। তো তিনি বলছিলেন যে আমি গোলক বৃন্দাবনে চলে যাচ্ছি। তখন ওই নার্সটা শুনতে পেরেছেন। তো নার্সটা অতটা বুঝতে পারেনি যে গোলক বৃন্দাবন কী জিনিসটা। তো তিনি তখন বললেন যে পঙ্কজাঙ্ঘ্রি প্রভুকে বলছেন যে তোমাকে গোলক বৃন্দাবনে যেতে হবে না, কেননা তুমি এইখানে সেরে বাড়িতে যাবে, বাড়ি থেকে সুস্থ হয়ে থাকবে, আর করোনাটা গোলক বৃন্দাবনে চলে যাবে। তারপরে এমনিতেও উনি খুবই হাস্যোজ্জ্বল মুখ, সবসময় হাসি ভাব। আমি নতুন ভক্ত থেকে ওনাকে দেখছি যে উনি সবসময় মুখে হাসি, এবং সবাই ভক্তরা দেখে ওনাকে প্রসন্ন হতেন যে হাসি উজ্জ্বল মুখ। এবং তাছাড়াও আমি যখন একটু বুক ডিস্ট্রিবিউশনও ওনার পছন্দ করতেন, যখন বুক ডিস্ট্রিবিউশন কিছু আমি করতাম তো ওনার সবসময় খবর নিতেন যে কতগুলো বই বিক্রি করেছো, কি করেছো, এরকম জিজ্ঞাসা করতেন আমার কাছে। মানে উনি সবসময় সংকীর্তন বা বুক ডিস্ট্রিবিউশনে খুবই আকৃষ্ট হতেন, খুব ভালো। আমিও বুক ডিস্ট্রিবিউশন করতাম এবং ওনার জিজ্ঞাসা করতেন আমাকে। তারপরে এরকম একটা ঘটনা। তারপরে হচ্ছে উনি সবসময় যখনই কোনো মানে নৃত্য হতো মন্দিরে উনি থাকতে পারতেন না, এবং নৃত্য করতেন আমাদের সঙ্গে খুব সুন্দর, এবং খুবই সকলকে আনন্দ দিতেন। এটা খুবই ভালো লাগতো আমাদের সঙ্গে। হরে কৃষ্ণ। জয় শিল প্রভুপাদ কি জয়।
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Golokesh Govinda Prabhu. Golokesh Prabhu just mentioned that he was engaged in the service of Pankajanghri Prabhu and Janadas Prabhu from the year 2013. When he first started sweeping their rooms, one day one devotee came in and he gave some prasadam. But Prabhu, because he was sweeping, so his hands were dirty. So Prabhu said, here, some prasadam from Vrindavan. He said, open your mouth. So, and then Prabhu put the prasadam in the mouth. So in this way he was like a father, very affectionate, very sweet. And when he was in the hospital, Golokesh Prabhu was taking care of him. One day one nurse came and the nurse was treating, and then Prabhu told the nurse, I am going to Golok Vrindavan. But the nurse didn't understand what's Golok Vrindavan or anything. Then the nurse said, no, you will get better and you will go back home, and the coronavirus will go to Golok Vrindavan. Because the nurse didn't understand anything. So in this way, Prabhu was very jovial. He would always joke, and he was always in a very jolly mood, even though he was in the hospital. So I was very fortunate to have his wonderful association. I wanted to mention, some devotees requested me to mention, Pankajanghri Prabhu had one special attribute, and that was his skill of photography. Pankajanghri Prabhu used to take so many pictures of the deities. And actually when I started my Grihastha life, Prabhu set me up with a business. And my business was actually mainly with photos. I started off with photos. And Pankajanghri Prabhu, I can tell you stories, how he started me off. It was a wonderful story, how he started me off. And I can never forget the the amount of kindness and mercy he showered upon me, and I was like a spoiled boy. I was like his spoiled son, and the only thing he expected of me, so many things he expected of me, but last year during the COVID-19, he mentioned something to me. I actually came to him and I said that this is what I have been doing so far, and what do you think? So he said, okay, you do this. You do some welfare service for the devotee community. You do some welfare service for the ladies community. And then he said, Jananivas Prabhu wants a temple. And if you can, please help out with the temple. Actually, I was supposed to take him, but you know, I have this nature. I am a little lazy, so I never got around to taking him. When the lockdown was eased, at that time I was supposed to take him to the Jagai Madai Ghat area, and he was supposed to pinpoint the spot where he wanted the temple. Very unfortunate, but luckily we have Jananivas Prabhu with us, so maybe Jananivas Prabhu can help. And Pankajanghri Prabhu did stress on that point that he really wanted that temple because it was very dear to the heart of Jananivas Prabhu. I beg the blessings of all the Vaishnavas so that I may be of some instrumental help in fulfilling Pankajanghri Prabhu's desire. I hope Pankajanghri Prabhu will take it in his usual jovial manner and forgive me for everything that he would ask me to do and I would not do. But I would, sometimes I would tell him that people will, when you take the pictures, I would tell him, you see, the devotees will see Krishna through the lenses of Pankajanghri. He liked that. And he was extremely courageous when you take the photos. I remember at one point, I was shaking practically. He stood on the corner of the Lotus building, right on the roof, and there is this, the wall, and he stood right at the corner and he was taking some shots. I was shivering. I was just thinking, here is this, the head pujari of Mayapur. He's taking his picture. Just a couple of inches next to it is just open air and the grounds, and I was just praying to Nishigiri, oh no, what's going to happen? But Pankajanghri Prabhu was that courageous actually. He was so courageous, and we know many of his courageous feats, and I could go on and on. Prabhu actually, hundreds of hours I could speak about him. You know, all the things that we used to do together, you know, the photographies and the pictures. He didn't like people selling the pictures of Nrsingadev without any dress. He told me, this is not good to sell pictures of Nrsingadev without any dress. He didn't like it. You know, he had his own style. I loved it. And Pankajanghri Prabhu is Pankajanghri, as everybody has spoken about him. Extremely touching. He would, very fondly, he would tell me, here is Sujitendriya. He would tell the devotees, here is Sujitendriya. He has married his way back to Godhead. And so many other things he would say. He was just, as you know, he's Pankajanghri Prabhu, you know. He was, and thank you Krishna, thank you Radha Madhava, thank you Panchatattva, thank you Srila Prabhupada, thank you my dear spiritual master for giving me this wonderful opportunity to have the association of such an exalted Vaishnava. We never saw the Goswamis of Vrindavan, but here we are. We were living with the Goswamis, we never realized it. We were living with the Goswamis, you know. They were just Dhira Dhira Jana Priyo. They were equally dear to everyone. The highest devotees known to us, and also just the general regular frivolous children. He was just equally loved by one and all. So very, very lucky. We were very, very lucky. Thank you Krishna. Thank you Srila Prabhupada for bringing us a glimpse of Lord Chaitanya's movement again here, as Srila Prabhupada had said that, Lord Chaitanya's mission or Lord Chaitanya's movement is again manifest here. So we see in the lives of so many different Vaishnavas that so many wonderful qualities. Very, very unfortunate that we are not going to have his wonderful association, but at the same time, as we all know, Srila Prabhupada has his plans. Lord Nrsingadev, Radha Madhava, Panchatattva have their plans. So we have to again surrender to the shloka, Aslisyava padartam pinashtamam adarsanar marmahatam karotuva yatha tatha va vidadhatu lampato mat prananathastu sayeva naparaha. You are our master at any cost. Hare Krishna. Next. Okay. Hare Krishna Prabhus. Very, very sorry for all those devotees who have not got the chance to speak, but I would request that there is going to be a 24-hour glorification program starting midnight, officially 9th of May. So that's 12 midnight from tonight. It will go on. Please make a video, make an audio and post it. And let me give you the phone numbers. Radhapati Gopinath Prabhu's number or Shyam Shilpi Gupta's number. Let him start the Jayanila Premadhana, then in the meantime I'll take out the numbers and I'll repeat the numbers after the bhajan. Hare Krishna. Jai Jai Shripad Pankajanghri Prabhu Ki Jai. So now Baladevi Bhushan Prabhu, please sing Jayanila Premadhana.
Kahamura Sharuprupa Kahashanatan Kahadasha Raghunatha Patita Pavan Kahamura Bhattajuga Kaha Kobira Eko kale kotha gela gora natara Pasane kutiba matha Analepo Shiva গৌরাঙ্গ গো নিধি কোথা গেলে পাবো সেসব সঙ্গীর শোনে যে কইল বিলা সে সঙ্গ না পায়া কান্দে নর তমদা যে আনিল প্রেম ধন করুণা প্রচুর হ্যাঁ না প্রভু কোথা গেল আচার্য ঠাকুর জয় আচার্য ঠাকুর জয় আচার্য ঠাকুর আচার্য ঠাকুর জয় পঙ্কজাঙ্ঘ্রি প্রভু জয় পঙ্কজাঙ্ঘ্রি প্রভু জয় পঙ্কজাঙ্ঘ্রি প্রভু পঙ্কজাঙ্ঘ্রি প্রভু জয় পঙ্কজাঙ্ঘ্রি প্রভু হরে কৃষ্ণ হরে কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে 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 রাম হরে রাম 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 হরে হরে Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe Jaya Panchatata Jaya Panchatata Panchatata Jaya Panchatata Jaya Nishingadev, Jaya Nishingadev, Nishingadev, Jaya Nishingadev. Premanandi.
Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Ashtotara Shata Shishimat Abhay Charanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON Pratishtha-Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jai. Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyamakunda Radhakunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Jai Shri Shri Radha Madhava Ashtashaki Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Panchadatva Ki Jai. Narasimhadev Bhagavan Ki Jai. Bhaktaraj Prahlad Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Mai Ki Jai. Samaveda Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Jai Nitai Go Premanandi Hari Hari Bo. His Grace Pankajanghri Prabhu Ki. So on behalf of ISKCON Mayapur Chandrodaya Mandir, we would like to thank all the devotees for coming and participating and sharing your wonderful memories and realizations. We also like to thank all the devotees who have joined us on Mayapur TV for this memorial ceremony. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.